Okay. Welcome everybody. Today is my birthday stream. Oh well, it's not my birthday quite yet. It's actually tomorrow. I'm hoping to have get a few people in. I've got my good buddy Hopswatch here at the moment. Hey, okay, Cameron. Hey, is that my best mate, Cameron? Just let me know. Is that my best mate, Cameron? If so, I'll send you a link. I'll try and find. I have to find a way of sending a link to you. So, yeah, I've sent a couple of invites out. I can have up to 6 people in here. So, if I get a lot of people wanting to come in, I'll have to do a bit of a I have to do a little bit of rotating in and out. So, this just be a bit of fun. It's bring your own booze, obviously. Speaking of which, Hopswatch, you're up, my friend. What are we drinking tonight?
Tonight we are drinking Limfjords Porter. That would be a porter from the Limfjord. The Limfjord is the large fjord that is separating the two parts of Jutland, the southern part and the northern part, which makes up the western part of Denmark. So Denmark is basically an archipelago, except the western part, which is a relatively large peninsula. That one, however, is also parted into the northern one, where I live, being parted from the mainland by the Limfjord. And this brew is brewed in the relatively small town where I live. It's called Thisted. See if you can pronounce that, Thisted. And they're famous all over Denmark for this very, very fine porter. It's not particularly expensive if you buy the standard one. This costs a little more because this is a special edition that they made a couple of weeks ago. I think it was because of some anniversary or whatever. And it's flavored with English licorice. Usually it's just flavored with licorice. This particular one is flavored with English licorice. I haven't tried it yet, so but I thought this was a good occasion that when one of my best friends in the world has his birthday, to have a go at it.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got at the moment. I've got a few cans, so before I have to resort to the Stella Artois, I've got something called Life and Death IPA from Vocation Brewery, which I believe is British. It's from Yorkshire. It's a 6.5% IPA. So I think it's best to get this thing underway. Now, I have sent a link out to a few other people. Hopefully some of them will be joining shortly. I'm sure there's some we're going to be joined shortly in a bit. Hopefully Jenny Morgan's going to join us. Okay. Yeah, okay. So someone who can't make it today as well, actually, that I did send the link to. But okay, there's somebody I forgot. I just realised, but so send the link. I forgot to send the link to Sam Chaos. So yeah, hi Amanda, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I forgot, I sent you the link. And I forgot you'd been in hospital the other day. So hope you're doing okay. Everyone send hugs to Amanda. So hopefully we will be joined by a few others. Yep, thanks. Yeah, well, my birthday isn't till tomorrow. I'll be 41 years young. Officially feel old. So young. I know I'm young compared to some people, but I'm starting to feel old now. But unfortunately, normally I would be going out on the town or to a pub somewhere with a lot of my friends, but hey, 2020 and COVID. So I was just to sort of say around the chat, see who else. I said hello to Cameron. My wife is Michael Raptor. Good to see you in the chat. Never again. Oh, Sam, Geo Sam. Good to see you. Julie, good to see you as well. And PJ. I'm just trying to see Nikki Daly as well. Gramsy. So if there's anybody I've missed, oh, Never Again, Demon Orb. There's quite a few in my chat already. It's, so I have sent the links out, but if I don't get anybody in the next few minutes, I'm going to have to maybe prod one or two people, I think. So Hops, you got anything? You got any reviews that you're planning for your channel at the moment? Any beer reviews or anything?
Not really, no. I still, as some will know, have fallen into disrepair. I was almost saying a fit of depression after becoming unemployed, and I haven't yet recovered properly from that. So. Not really, no. But whenever I'm on a stream, I see if I can crack a beer open and review it as we go. I don't know when I'll be active on my channel again. I will say, however, that today I felt a little better. So I'm making progress. I'm also still very active on my beer blog, which is, however, in Danish. So, but you can try a translation if you really want to. But nothing specific planned for for now. No.
Yeah. So I should be restarting up the Asterix streams. I think next week with Hissy. Hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit more when she gets in here.
Cool.
So. So sorry, I'm sort of multitasking at the moment, and I'm hopeless.
I just promoted the stream on my Twitter, so everyone can go find it. But also, I just wanted to see because are you familiar with the account of A. Stratilates?
Never heard of it.
Okay, he's one of the red pill religion people.
Oh, those fuckwits!
Complete and utterly. So now the thing is, I about a week ago, a little more than a week ago, I had my Twitter account suspended. That's now open again. But I kind of got in a good habit to use one of my backup accounts using that again. And while I had Stratilates blocked on my main account, I hadn't had him blocked on my personal account. So I have just had a bit of a discussion with him. Only minutes ago, really, and now he blocked me when I was pointing out that he was moving the goalpost.
One of them, I don't know if that account is still even about, but they used to go by the name Apologist Supreme. I don't know if that's him or not, but I don't.
No, that's another one.
Yeah, he was part of that, but he was he's the guy. He was the guy who keeps saying now he's debated like 3,000 atheists and he's won every debate, and it's like the lack of. I've only actually ever seen him in one, and that was against Vosh, and. I don't be funny. I mean, it was embarrassing. If I'm not being funny, if I was part of Red Pill Religion, I'd be embarrassed because Vosh it was. Even a lot of Christians I know watched that and said, "No, Vosh mopped the floor with him." Just checking the chat because I'm seeing some names here that I don't normally see in my live chats. What's it? No Raisin, Amber. Yeah, some names I not used to seeing here. So just be aware, if you are new to my channel, we do tend to cuss a bit on here, so you have been warned. But no, I'm not familiar with that particular account, Hops. But
Nice smoke.
yeah, I
smoky
have
to the beer.
zero time for.
Oh, you're looking up now. My issue is I didn't see his last comment after he blocked me.
All right.
So I try to figure out ways to do that, and he apparently now has made his account protected even.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't be able to see him anyway. I mean, there's one that goes round as part of that. 'Cause that's Red Pill Resistance. That's Dean Esme's group, isn't it?
Yes.
Am I right in thinking that's his? Yeah, because there's I forget the name of the account now, but whenever it pops up on my screen, I know it's Dean Esme. And he's just disgusting. He is just a disgusting human being.
Yes.
But I mean, and the thing is, it's not really even about promoting his own religion, it is bashing atheists. Is all he does. That's all they do. Right. It's kind of like what Darth Dawkins tries to do, I suppose. But they're way more. They're well worse than Darth Dawkins. I mean, that Red Pill religion. They're just. I mean, they are. I mean, there's a good argument to say that they're a hate.
Yeah, I know about Darth Dawkins, but I have never experienced him. I've never had the dishonor.
Yeah, I'll just point that out. Yes, Julie the Voice, you are a fucking lady. I shouldn't swear.
Oh, this is very good.
Julie's awesome. I'll just I'll tell you what. I'm waiting for people. Whilst I'm waiting for people.
And I have to remember to take a photo of the beer.
Yeah. Let me just yes. Sorry, I'm not talking, guys. I just I'm pretty bad. I'm a typical man, is bad at multitasking. But Julie, I've sent you a link if you want to pop in. I haven't had a chance to speak to Julie in a while, actually. So if you are about, mate, and Julie, yeah, pop in. So, but yeah, it seems that the chat likes a bit of sweary words. So, but yeah, I've not really followed that I forget the name of that account that Dean Esme is going under now, but yeah, it appears from time to time again. But he's a piece of shit, that guy.
Oh, sorry, who was you talking about now?
Dean Esme.
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
But
still remember him from he was on the Non Sequitur show a couple of times, and he was banned from that.
Yeah, he got kicked off. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But yeah, because that was where that other guy, Apologist with Supreme, debated Vosh, and Vosh destroyed him.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember now that you say it, Apologist Supreme, but I had kind of repressed the memory of him.
Yeah.
But he blocked me ages ago.
Yeah.
He blocked me when I was still living in Copenhagen, as far as I remember.
Well, because I remember the funny thing as well is after you had Apologist Supreme, like just getting spanked by Vosh, and then oh hello, new channel, who this?
Hey,
Hey Julie, it's been too long since I spoke to you.
I know it has been too long, and it's even worse. I feel really bad about it because it's your birthday, but I'm gonna have to split in like 13 minutes.
Okay, well, thanks for popping on anyway. But, there are other people supposed to be jumping in that have got the link. I think they're probably still finishing up from the last stream, I'm guessing. So, I have sent the link out to a number of people. But
what are you having, Julie?
This is coffee because it's not quite noon here.
Really strong stuff.
Yeah, you're not quite. It's not quite midday for you yet, is it?
Yeah. Even on a Sunday, drinking before noon is a bit frowned upon in the U.S. Anyway. We're very puritanical, unless you're at brunch. If you're at brunch, it's fine, but otherwise, no.
See, I want beer here now. Seeing as you're here now, I should actually go. I've got a bottle of Shiraz. I should open some wine because it's you, Julie. But I'm already on beer. You know.
You have a Shiraz? That's nice. Those are good.
Yeah, I do like if I'm going to drink wine, I tend to drink red. I'm not a white wine person.
Yeah, me too. White wine is sugar. It's just, and I know there are people who disagree. That's fine. It's just a matter of taste, but I don't. And by matter of taste, I don't mean having good or bad taste. I mean just what you like. And I like red wine. I don't see the point in white wine very often.
I just drink beer.
Beer is fine too. Actually, because it's your birthday, though, here I'll make an exception. Give me a second. Oh my gosh, that bottle is heavy. Hang on. This is my kitchen ceiling. Enjoy that.
And a very little kitchen ceiling it is, Julie.
There we go. All right. Well, to Jeff on your 41st birthday. I lived through 41. I'm at 42 now. I can tell you it's not all downhill from here.
So,
but not all.
Well, it'll be cheers. It'll be 41 tomorrow. So it's only one more year, and I suppose I've got to have a bigger celebration then because if is it truly the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
Well, see, that's what I thought, and I'm born at the start of the year. We're only about a month apart, and so last year I had a nice big celebration with friends, and I was like, "Hey, for the next year, I'm the answer to life, the universe, and everything." And then COVID happened, so it hasn't been the best year, sadly. But that's, could be worse. I've survived it thus far, so there's that. But yeah, look, do not let me do that thing that I do where I get all depressing on a stream. It's your birthday tomorrow, yay!
Yeah, well, it's like I'm trying to save my depressed about getting older thing till tomorrow if I can. You know?
Well, I will say this: Jung Shop and I had to move, and that was really hard. Like I was sore in places I didn't realize I had. My knee, my back, just everything was like, "Fuck you! Why are you doing this?" So it was a lot easier when we moved into that place 7 years ago. Moving out was very rough. So I think next time I'm just gonna bite the bullet and hire some big burly dudes to come over and move me. Not doing it myself again.
Yeah. Yes, that is probably best.
Yep.
If you can get someone else to do the heavy lifting, it's always best.
Yeah, agreed.
And you got going on with your channel, Julie. Just let people because I'm just saying because I've had a few new subscribers come in recently, so I have to plug a lot of people that I get on here again. So if So if you're not familiar with Julie's channel, please go check her out.
Yeah, please do. If you type in wine ampersand reason in YouTube, you get a lot of channels about vineyards. So make sure to just throw Julie in there and you'll find mine. But it's Wine and Reason, and it's Tuesdays at 2 p.m. in the States, which in central time zone in the States, which I think is around 8 p.m. your time, Jeff?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's usually about the time you're on, just about 7:30, 8 o'clock, for I seem to remember.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've had a little jump in subscribers recently. There seems to be a lot of new people coming in, but I don't know how many people they sort of know from our community as such. So I've got to do a bit of plugging again. But now I was hoping if I could do a shameless subs plug for myself here.
That's your birthday. I think you can.
I think I'm allowed to. Now I was hoping that by the end of this stream. Now yesterday I was at 329 subscribers. Today I checked that I was at 328.
You said 99 to 28?
No, I was at I've dropped a sub since yesterday. Okay. I was trying to get up to 333. Two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, that's halfway to the magic 666, which is something, which is definitely a number you got to do a celebration stream for if you're atheist and a metalhead like myself. Second of all, 33 and 3 and all that sort of stuff. I don't know why. That's a number that triggers the fuck out of flat earthers. So if I could do that on my birthday, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, we should always be triggering flat earthers. Always.
I mean, just get myself up to like 333 and then send a screenshot of it to Russian vids or something. Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Oh God, Russian vids.
I don't know. He blocked. I don't even know if he's on Twitter, but the last time he blocked me anyway.
I have a picture of myself the day that or the evening rather, that I came downstairs and Junk Shop was listening to a flat Earth debate, and of course the flat earther was getting trounced, but and I started to laugh because I thought it was funny, and then I was like, wait a minute, is he serious? Does he really think the Earth is flat? And Junk Shop had to tell me, yeah, and there's hundreds of people who believe this now.
It's a bit weird.
The look on my face, I was like, it's weird. I looked hurt and confused at the same time. But so and I mean, at that point, there are already whole channels devoted to, debunking flat earthers. I don't. It's so disturbing.
Yeah, I mean,
we're sorry.
Most of the flat Earth debate things are absolute dumpster fires. And I'm just gonna say thanks to, just while I'm noticing it in the chat, thanks to Mama Atheist, who's doing some awesome shilling of channels in the community whilst in the stream there. She's it's like critical cripple, you're fired. Man just got your job, I think. She's doing a really good job of it. But yeah, I was going to say the flat Earth, I do enjoy them. They are dumpster fires, those debates. I mean, it's not even sort of funny anymore. But as a topic, it was quite a big thing on the internet a couple of years ago. It's pretty much dead now. Yeah,
I certainly hope so. It's horrible.
Kind of lost its novelty, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I think their last bit. Okay, I mean, the last big conference they did, I think they had about less than 40 people there. And bear in mind, and okay, now I know obviously the public gathering things at the moment, but bear in mind a lot of these idiots are like COVID deniers and because let's face it, if you believe in flat Earth as a conspiracy theory, you pretty much believe all the other conspiracy theories as well.
Yeah, you most likely don't believe we landed on the moon. You're not going to believe, you're gonna be one of the, I don't know,
COVID restrictions
5
would
Oh,
be.
different things.
Whoa. Cameron, whoa. Mate, I sent a link to your email address, Cameron. You don't have to put yourself on camera if you don't want to, but you got to come in and tell us this story.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, I'm gonna have to go. I've got a patron thing at noon. But
you don't have to go on camera if you don't want to, Cameron. You can just turn your camera off on the StreamYards, but you've got to come in and tell us about this.
By the way, one thing I was just thinking, COVID restrictions and stuff like that would much
Cameron,
more be a motivation for flat earthers to gather, actually.
Yeah.
To show to show their resistance or whatever. But I guess I think that the reason for flat Earth becoming less interesting is simply, I think, many of the flat earthers got tired of getting their ass kicked constantly.
By facts.
And it's by people debunking them. And I think that the debunking bit, a lot of people were saying, don't engage in conversations with these people. Just ignore them and let them go away by themselves. But I think it was good that people were engaging in discussions with them, because a lot of people have seen the many flat Earth debates sort of as entertainment. And that has actually made a lot of people much more wise, knowledgeable about how we actually know that the Earth is round. So I think that's an educational side to the whole debacle.
As Junk Shop and I were, we had to run errands yesterday, so we left the safety of our home, and I forget what it was, but they remembered something about trigonometry that I didn't. That I never took trig. I was an English major, sucked at math. So, and I was like, oh, how did you remember? How did you know? Did you take trig? And they said, no, I just watch a lot of flat Earth debates. So you're right. Yeah, it's very educational to watch flat Earth debates. Just listen to the.
It can be, but it depends on obviously the nature of them, because you can get flat earthers that want to have a conversation, although it can be a little bit frustrating to keep them on point. I see Amanda, Mama Atheist, is in the chat. She and I had a chat on Atheist Pastors channel with a friend of his who's a flurf, and he's a.
I
know that guy. He's so sweet.
He's a nice guy, but the problem, the problem I found with him was trying to keep him on point. It was really, he'd go to one conspiracy, so it was a little bit frustrating in that response. And I hope Amanda doesn't mind me saying this, but actually I think Amanda said it. Amanda's not got such a. Amanda hasn't quite got a. I hope Amanda doesn't mind me saying Amanda does not have the patience for these people that perhaps some of us do, and I understand that, because she actually she's devoted her sort of life and career to science, and you got people who just deny that. I can imagine how frustrating that must be.
Oh, it's beyond. It's even those of us who don't who don't have careers in the sciences, but we have an education. I was lucky enough to get that, and it's incredibly frustrating. But yeah, I will say, Fight the Flat Earth is a good channel for good flat Earth dumpster fires if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and beyond that, Yeah, that poor guy. As a former teacher, I'm not a doctor, but I would bet $10 that he has ADHD. Because that's how he strikes me when we've talked is like, yeah, like everything jumping from subject to subject and any shiny new thing, you know.
You
So,
mean Fight
which
the
is not
Flat
an insult, by the way. I have many close family members with ADHD. Doesn't mean you're stupid.
No,
It just means focusing on one thing is tricky.
that can
So,
be difficult for me actually. So
yeah.
I got the same diagnosis, so I know it for a fact that is very true.
Mm-hmm. And you
But I
can
think-
be extraordinarily smart and have ADHD. So that's not a judgment on his intelligence. It was just something
You're
I know.
cracking up a bit, Julia.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right. But hey, happy birthday. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I got to split. But
There's a reason it's called junk shopping for a reason.
yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason why we call it junk shopping.
There is. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Nice to
Maybe
talk
it's
to you.
on
Have
my
fun.
end.
No, it's
Yeah,
Julie.
see ya.
It's Julie.
Bye.
See you later, Julie. All right. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I got
Jeff, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Perfect.
Okay, because I don't hear you perfect, but it could be on my side.
Maybe.
Got issues.
Okay, that's not good.
I'll just jump out and jump in again. Is that fine?
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, let's just look at the chat for a minute, see while Hops is trying to sort himself out. Should be some other people popping in a bit, actually. But, Mike Raptor, they can be, but I sometimes they're just good for entertainment value, like what FTFE does, and so on. Hop, what's it? Stool. By the way, Stool. Yes, the lovely beer curtain. Is that right? Now Hop should be back in now. Okay, let's try this now.
Yeah, I can hear you much better now, at least.
Okay, I can hear you, but your volume's very low.
Just better.
So, not really.
Okay, just.
I mean, I can hear you. I don't. I mean, I can't. It's just your volume's really low, so I don't know how well it's coming across on the stream.
This better.
No. No, it sounds about the same. It's just like your mic volume's like really low for some reason.
I'll just look into it. Boy, yeah, I can see that it's low. I'll just mute myself and see if I can do something about it.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. Hop's trying to sort his sound out at the moment. So yeah, about what was it? Flat Earth debates. They can be educational, but sometimes they're just funny as well. Like, a lot of the ones that fight the Flat Earth. I mean, he's really switched on with his knowledge and stuff, but with some of the idiots he gets, yeah, at a certain point you just have to kind of get do a point and laugh at them. And I think there's a lot of channels that kind of do that. I mean, I think Creaky Blinder's kind of good at that. I think, and, doing more of the point and laugh and a bit of fun with these kind of like flat earthers and conspiracy freaks. That he just has a bit of fun with them, I think, rather than debunking. And I think, I will say, little shameless plug for Mama Atheist channel. 18th of December, I believe, Creaky will be on her channel. And, I've only got one word to say to that, Manda. Tidy! So, yeah. I'll definitely I'll definitely tune in for that. But yeah, he's good at that. So, a little into. Yeah, Amanda, I imagine you would be quite chuffed with that, because I'd like. I wouldn't mind a chuff. I mean, I've been on a stream with Conspiracy Cats before, obviously, works quite closely with Creaky on their debate channel, which is Agree to Disagree, which is quite a good debate channel, because they're trying not to foster the dumpster fires. Never again. Dave can't make it, unfortunately. He did let me know earlier. So I don't know where Jenny is, because she asked to come in. I sent her the link ages ago, and so yep. So
is it better now?
no, it's about the same, Hops. I don't know what's going on there. I don't have to. I mean, so I'm just assuming that if I can barely hear you, it probably means the chat as well. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, because you sounded fine before you jumped out. I don't understand that at all.
No, it's very strange, because I'm trying to find in my computer settings where I can, because I can see that my microphone doesn't pick much up, but where I can change that doesn't come up anywhere. Wait. This better. Wait.
That's changed all of a sudden. There
Finally,
we go.
I found it. It was not in my settings. It was it was in StreamYard somehow.
Okay.
Wonderful. Cheers, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Skål. Yeah. All right, thanks, Ox, for popping in as well. Yeah, I also talked about yeah, I sort of stopped watch. I do occasionally still watch. Now what's happening? Oops.
Guess what? Now you're breaking up again.
I don't get this.
Crack one issue, then there's another sound issue.
Oh no. So I hear you perfect, but...
Okay, I'm going to try something. Let's see. I'll choose another output channel then.
Okay. Yeah, it's saying it sounds like it's on your end, because the chat seems to say you're coming through clear on the.
Can you still hear me all right now?
I hear you perfect. Yeah.
Good. I think I cracked it now. I am using one microphone and an output, the output directly from my computer instead of using the output from the microphone. I don't know if it's an issue, but at least it works right now. So I think maybe I'll be okay now.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you hear? Because I completely forgot talking about that, or I never got to it on the other stream because suddenly I had work, so I had to go take a nap. But did you hear the story about this Hungarian politician and his adventures in Belgium?
No, I haven't.
His name is Joseph Shire or something. I don't know much about Hungarian pronunciation. Actually, I don't know anything about Hungarian pronunciation. However, the funny thing is, as many people will know, Hungary is at the moment led by a fascist right extreme party called Fidesz.
Yeah.
And one of their most prominent politicians, one of the people who founded the party back in the day, was caught kind of red-handed, literally, in Belgium. And Belgium is the country it is now the one country in the world with the most dead people per inhabitant. Per 1 million inhabitants, they have the highest number of dead people from COVID-19. They overtook San Marino just recently. San Marino being a very small country, and that's why they can they get very, very quickly very, very high numbers on that scale if anyone dies.
I've been to San Marino. It's about the same size as the town I live in.
What's that again?
I said I've been to San Marino, and it's about the same size as the town I live in. It is a tiny little country.
Oh, now you're cracking up again.
Oh no!
For F's sake!
See, it seems like we. Now I just remembered who I forgot to send a link to. Actually, I just seen him in the chat. Slim, I'm gonna have to send you a link, mate. If you're about. So. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with your.
I'm getting the suspicion that my sound issues may be because of my internet connection rather than anything with my sound gear, because I can't get the stream up on YouTube, or at least it's extremely slow. And now your picture, the image of you is also breaking up now. So,
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. Okay, Jeff, I'm going to jump out again.
Hold on.
And come in again.
Okay, we'll try it again. By the way, Slim, I've sent you a link through your Facebook, mate, if you want to jump in. Hey, Jenny, how's you?
Hold on, my sound is still goofy. What happened to Hops?
Everyone seems to be having sound issues except me at the moment, I think. He's having internet issues, I think. It's like he come back in one time and his volume was like really low, we could barely hear him. And then when he got his volume sorted out, he suddenly couldn't really hear us, and we started breaking up. And Jenny's rustling.
Yeah, I'm having a scattered kind of day.
Yeah. And welcome, Slim Living Cyborg. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
How you keeping, mate? You hear us? You hear us? Okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Just checking because everyone seems to be having issues at the moment. Hopefully, Hops will be going to come back in a minute. Jenny is sorting out her issues. So, it's new with you then, Slim. How are you?
Good. Happy birthday.
Yeah, well, it's tomorrow, but I'm going to have the session today, so.
That makes sense. I understand that.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Well, what we talking about?
Whatever, really, because we were talking about flat Earth debates before, like Hops's
audio
internet started having issues. Yeah, so we kind of were at that point, and then it was
Who are we
when I was-
talking about in Flat Earth? Because there's
We
a
have-
lot of fun things coming or going on right now.
Oh,
Well, yeah, like
yeah,
what?
we haven't really got to anyone, but I am gonna say it. I am gonna say it. As far as that whole dumb fuck of the year award on Red's Rhetoric's channel, it's if anyone's got to win that, it's got to be Nathan Thompson. I just sooner it going to someone like him than one of the whole drama related things in the community. Nominations around that. Because Nathan has done so much stupid this year, but
I think the fix is in that Kyle's going to win it.
or Uni Rock. I think it's already fixed for one of those two. But
I think that Nathan should win based upon how hard he got trolled by those documentary people. I mean, if I come to understand it correctly, they spent like a week with him and trolled him for like a week. And I watched the behind the scene. I watched the videos that Nathan posted, and I watched the first episode that Reckless Ben posted. And the whole time he's so enveloped in his conspiracy, he can't see when somebody is like blatantly fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? Like they wore.
Are you talking
duck
about the
suits.
visit with the ducks?
Yeah, they wore duck suits, and they said the duck suits protected them from the radiation. And there's no radiation that comes off of a magnet. A magnet doesn't have radiation. So they were like, oh, we couldn't get radiation suits, so we got these instead, and they protected us from the electromagnetism. And it's like, that doesn't even make any sense. There aren't suits that protect you from electromagnetism. That's called a Faraday cage. That's what you get inside of to protect. It's like, dude, he doesn't even understand the concept of life, and he is running around going, look, I got proof. Oh, look, I'm smart. Oh, yeah. So I think he should have won, or he should win.
yeah, I mean,
Uni Rock is just an annoying troll.
yeah, I don't really. Like if you're gonna have these things, I think it should be for actual fucking idiots and not really for.
I think they should structure it like the Oscars or the Emmys or something like that, where they have, this is the Emmys award, this is the dumb fuck of the year award, and then they have categories.
Yeah.
Best troll, best completely stupid, best
well, I thought they
clothes,
did
or whatever they want.
I thought they did have categories, but I just thought the structure this year seemed to be way looser than it was in the past years. And it's dying, so that's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's sort of like, it's I enjoy that whole thing of like for a bit of fun. I do enjoy that award, but I sometimes think it's getting a little bit too much into drama within the community. Who's breaking up really badly there? Some massive feedback from someone.
Not me.
I think it was Slim.
Slim. Okay.
Well, I think one of the big problems that it has is that there's so much drama because there's only one award.
Yeah.
So many diverse types of stupidity out there. Everybody, get their own favorite. I mean, Anthony should definitely win of one. But how could you ignore JM Truth? I mean, that guy is dumb as a fucking door hinge.
He's got nominated though, which is good because he's I heard the rumor is that he's planning a comeback. I don't know if that's true or not.
That'll be great.
I mean, you got to talk about people who got trolled hard. The way Negative Exponents trolled him was fucking awesome.
I've never heard of that person.
Oh, well, do you know, well, here's what happened. JM Truth had a debate with Red's rhetoric over some footage Red's filmed of
Yeah.
SpaceX launch,
Yeah,
right?
I'm well familiar with it.
Yeah, the 20, and he said the 20-second discrepancy in the film thing. Do you remember that bit? Okay. JM didn't come out with that himself.
Oh,
That was fed to him by negative exponents who had befriended JM under an alias and just pulled stuff out of his ass and fed it to JM, and JM just like ate it up. He just ate it up, you know, and he went on and did that thing with Red saying the footage you filmed was fake. You're faking this footage, because that's what him and Astronomy Live do. They film those rocket launches themselves. It's blooming NASA or SpaceX footage or nothing. So it's like
Astronomy Live is a tremendous programmer. He wrote all that software. That does all that for them.
I'm getting feedback from somewhere.
Have you seen JM's zombie movie?
Oh no.
One evening, I think it was the last time actually I visited King Fat. We sat together and tried to watch it because, I mean, as a novelty. And I think we made about 10 minutes or so something into it, and we just had to give up. And I mean, it's. I mean, one thing is that it's obviously an amateur movie, but you know, I'm a huge fan of Peter Jackson's early work, especially Bad Taste.
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting something to the effect of that, but it's so weird, and the story is dislocated in different ways, and suddenly it goes from actually seeing a person who has lines and stuff like that to seeing some other people, completely different people, running around, and there's a commentator. You never hear these other people say anything. It's someone telling what is happening instead.
This is on the Jam film?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I know which one you're speaking about. Is it this? Is the zombie one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he
For lack
loses,
of better term.
he loses audio, or he has bad audio during the section, and so then he has a guy talking over it or something, right?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Yeah. It's so, man. I've worked on.
Anyway,
film.
hi Slim. I don't think we've met ever.
Hi. No, I don't think so officially. Well, nice to meet you there, Hops.
Same here. Hi, Slam.
Hi.
Yeah. I've only been on. I think I've been on stream. I was on the iNetwork with you, wasn't I, Slim? That's how we met, and I was meaning to get you on the channel for like a one-on-one chat, but I had some But I had a bit of like personal stuff go on over the last month or two, so you know, a lot of stuff I was planning on doing, I sort of never got round to, you know. So hopefully we'll try and get that arranged at some point.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely will talk about my implants, like my magnet. Hold on.
Oh, are you the dude who puts chips and shit in your head?
I have.
That's him. That's him, Jenny.
So I have magnets in my body.
Have to remember exactly where.
Yeah.
What are you having, by the way?
What?
What are you drinking?
As soon as I get this to work. So I have a magnet in the side of my hand, and then I have a magnet on the end of my
I spent my career working on cars, and at one point I needed
I'm
it, and
I'm just going to put you full screen a second.
I bought myself a bunch of what are those neodymium magnets?
Okay, cool.
And I glued them onto my fingers for a specific job where I had to reach some hardware that you couldn't see, could barely even touch.
Yep.
But you had to manipulate it. So it worked out great.
I have
completely.
Yeah, I've worked on engines and motors and stuff, and that's kind of why I got them, is because sometimes you drop something and you can't get it. And, you know, if I was able to put my hand near it, I can have it magnetically stick to me. And then
What kind of magnet material? Neodymium or?
it's an N32 magnet. I don't remember what exactly the magnet type is, besides that it's a strong magnet. Or
that the N designation is probably neodymium.
yeah, I would guess, but I'm not gonna say that I'm 100% sure.
Now, do they encapsulate that biologically, or?
Yeah, so there's a glass capsule that it's inside of that's surrounding it, so that it's not going to, the body's not going to try to take it apart or dissolve it, and that was the problem in the past.
Yeah, glass is one of the things that the body can tolerate.
Yeah, it doesn't really notice it.
Now I've got Tom. There is the elements going on and on in my head because you mentioned neodymium.
Oh, okay.
Yes, how's it going? Antimony, acid, nickel, and selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and selenium, nickel, neodymium, germanium, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthanum, and osmium, acetine, radium, and golden protactinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, thorium, and thulium, and thallium. You want to hear more? You want to hear all of it? Yes. There's yttrium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, strontium, silicon, and silver, and samarium, and bismuth, lithium, beryllium, and barium. That's holmium, helium, hafnium, radium, fluorine, and terbium, and magnesium, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium, and scandium, and cerium, and cesium, and dataphysium, and platinum, plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium, tantalum, technetium, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium, and calcium, and chromium, and curium. There's sulfur, californium, and fermium, berkelium, and also mendelevium, and thallium, niobium, and krypton, neodymium, and xenon, zinc, and rhodium, and chrome, carbon, copper, tungsten, and sodium. These are the only ones with which the news have come to Harvard, and there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered.
Okay,
Wow.
now we have to watch the ibis bird video.
To be honest, I thought me knowing the lyrics to Monty Python's Philosopher's Song was impressive. That's fucking blown me out of the water.
Oh, you mean Immanuel Kant was a real
pissant, was very stable.
I think I think you under the table. David Hume, William Friedrich Hegel, and Wittgenstein was just Hegel.
There wasn't nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist.
Socrates himself
was permanently pissed. John stood middle of his own free will on after Plato say taken away. Aristotle was a bugger from the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram.
And
Rene Descartes was a
therefore I am. Now
Yes.
Socrates himself was particularly missed.
Oh, lovely.
Cheers.
I can do some Taylor Swift lyrics.
Scroll.
I can't. I want to brag about that. I can do no Taylor Swift lyrics.
I like Taylor.
I can do a complete Napalm Death song, by the way, also.
Which one?
Yeah, that takes about 20 seconds. Come on.
No, much less than that. You suffer, but why?
That's all it is. Man, I remember Napalm Death back in the day. Fuck, that's old school. That's old school.
Yeah, I've seen them live a couple of times. They're awesome.
Now, the thing I really like about You Suffer But Why, and this is controversial and like sometimes gets me into verbal facts and stuff, but You Suffer But Why actually asks the crucial question. One thing is you feel shitty, but what you really need to do is to find out why and then do something about it. And they're able to say this in less than 1 second's time in that tune. And that means in less than 1 second, they actually take a leap ahead compared to what Nirvana did in how much, 5, 6, 8 years? Because they never came, they only came to, or rather Kurt Cobain never came any further than I Suffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
High Exploratory Mindset Project. Good to see you.
Oh, I need to do this so I can see that too. Oh, goodness, I'm slacking. I'm not doing my windows correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now I can see chat too. Oh, hello everyone in chat. Sorry, I didn't see that before.
Yeah.
I got up.
I did put a link to your channel in the chat, Slim. So
Awesome.
So go check Slim out.
I will right away. Anyway, I didn't get to tell the story about this this Hungarian politician.
Yeah, but that was about when you started having the internet issues, isn't it? Yeah, so
Yes, exactly. So what happened was he's a member of the European Parliament, which resides in Belgium, and Belgium is the country that has the most dead people per inhabitant in the world. They overtook San Marino just recently. So of course there are very, very harsh restrictions in Belgium to how many people who can be together and all that. We know how it goes. But he was actually caught red-handed at a party from which he tried to flee via a drain pipe. I mean, running down a drain pipe, which made his hands bleed. So he's kind of caught red-handed. But this was not just any party, and you have to remember this guy was a member of the ruling Hungarian party called Fidesz. Fidesz, which is a extreme right-wing extremist party. So the party that he was caught at was a gay sex orgy.
Yeah, I heard about this. Pretty good, eh?
yeah.
This is just the best news story of
for the
2020.
people in chat who don't know, Hungary just very recently basically put together a few laws that are going to, over time, exterminate all the transgender people in the world.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful what's happening in Belgium. In Hungary. Hungary is the new Nazi Germany, and Poland is on the track. It's in the same, moving very, very quickly in the same direction.
Yep, they're all imitating Chechnya and Russia.
But it just goes to show how much projection there is in these people and how much hypocrisy. It's
it's bad, man. It's bad. I mean,
But at least with modern technology, we're able to find these people more, outright them. You know, now everybody has a cell phone. So if you see a politician walking down the street or doing something wrong, now you can, you know, get a recording of it. So now we're out. It's easier to out people that are trying to be anti stuff. That human rights should be do whatever the fuck you want, as long as you're not hurting people directly. You know, I mean, who cares if I want to go have an orgy in a cornfield on ecstasy? What problem does anybody have about that? You know, like, I should be able to do that. And if we have organizers, we'll have EMTs there, and we'll make it safe if it's legal. You know, if it has to be underground, well, now I can't have an EMT there, and I can't tell the fire department, and we can't, do certain things. So,
and I don't really care about any Republican senator or politician who's been caught in a bathroom, or at a party like this guy from Hungary. But they're spending their lives persecuting people that they then go have sex with.
Yeah, exactly.
The hypocrisy is so immense and blatant. It's insulting to the intelligence of everybody.
So when I worked in the porn store, there was a maid.
I just got to step out for a couple of minutes. I've got to take a Riley. Okay, so.
Okay. When I worked in the porn store, we had glory holes in the back rooms, and there was a mayor that would come in from the adjacent town, and he would come and he would have gay sex with gentlemen that he was trying to kick out of his town because of what race they were.
Jesus Christ.
But then he would go and have gay sex with people of that race. So it was so hypocritical. And I guess people had tried to get him exposed, and somehow the town just like keeps ignoring it or something. So I would just watch him come in and go in the back room for 15, 20 minutes and then come out and walk past and be like, there's the mayor again. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, that is patently insane. How? Yeah, well, I guess truth just doesn't mean anything to people like that.
Well, if you're that bound in your religious beliefs, look, the Pope helps people who hurt children get away with it. Like there's enough proof to where the Catholic Church could be brought down, but so many people feel that they have to believe in it and they can't have that structure system disappear. They won't let it go.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Well, look at the entire core group of Trump supporters, the evangelicals who support him no matter what, regardless of his complete lack of morality.
Yeah.
He was a non-church person for his entire life until he started to become president. He showed up in a church a couple of times.
But he does that. I'm quite sure he does that for show. I completely agree. I think it was with David Pakman who said he was the first American atheist president.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's completely right about that.
And he gives atheists a bad name.
He does that as well. The thing is about Trump, because and with these people generally, I don't think that truth means anything to them, especially not the truth about themselves. They just say and just do what is opportunistically good for them in any situation. Now, take, for example, the discrepancy between what Trump has been doing about COVID-19 the whole time and what he said to Bob Woodward in that interview. I think was pretty saying that he wanted to seem responsible to Bob Woodward, and that is why he said things to Bob Woodward indicating that he was actually caring about people having COVID, while not actually caring at all. And that is the thing that he then shows most of the time. But people thought that they caught him in a lie. Either he lied to Bob Woodward or he lies to people when he downplays the virus. I will say he doesn't really do neither of it, because truth is it's not telling the truth is not something that he really cares about or even thinks about when he says stuff. He just says stuff that is opportunistically good for him in a situation.
And that's what rich people do. That's what really, really rich people do. Truth doesn't matter when you're in the ballroom having your glass of whiskey, 50-year-old whiskey that you spent $200 on. You're not caring about telling the truth to the person that you're shooting the shit with. You're going to be like, yeah, I just made $1 billion trade. Yeah, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was $500 million. But they're going to say whatever you feel at the time to get you those extra points. And that's the problem with that kind of mindset is they will just say anything to get to the next step or get to the anything, like you said, opportunistic. It's wicked.
Right.
And then some of these people claim religious things. The Bible says these certain things, and then I'm going to go with it. But just because a book was written 1,500 years ago does not mean you should live by those rules, especially if they don't talk about modern technology. So that's what's even more ridiculous. There's these evangelicals saying gay people shouldn't get married.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe 1,500 years ago that might have made sense, even though it never does. But, maybe in the desert, they needed people to procreate. Maybe you did need people to not just have
And I'm back.
Sex that wasn't procreating. Okay, maybe there was a reason for them to put that in a learning book at the time. Now we don't need to have that. And with X-rays, we understand people are born with both sex organs. God does not talk about that in the Bible. So there's your flaw, and or I'm not going to go along with what it says there. If you don't think of me,
to people who can read and speak the original languages, like for example Hebrew, they will tell you that the translations of Leviticus verses that say, laying next to another man, do not say that at all. Okay. But when it is properly translated, it says, "Don't fuck children."
Good. Well,
okay.
Of course.
That's what it says. Don't fuck children.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I figured that there was some other. The thing is that people misunderstand is the Bible wasn't written to be taken literally. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of using of symbology, like in Revelations is a big one that you can't take literal. You can't look at it and go, what does this literally mean? A lot of them are these limericks or poems, right? They're set up to be cute or to be taken to, so in church you can say them easily or remember them easily. So they've been manicured or they've been changed to fit whatever church you're in at the time. Here in the Americas where I am, there's 100 different versions of a Christian church. There's Methodist, there's Catholicism, there's non-denominational. So what they do is they take the same scriptures and they just manicure them to what they mean and how they're translated to whatever they want for their church or their congregation, and so to take it literally is very silly because it wasn't written literal per se or to be, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they got the math wrong. So I mean, if you got the math wrong, if God got math wrong, then damn, that's
See, I will get math wrong because I suck at math. But
so would I.
But if you are supposed to be God, you'd think you get that right.
My favorite, the Bible is a phony tale. Is that when it was rewritten in what was it, the 12th century or 1200s or was something like that, King James.
It's be the 1600s the King James Bible.
Okay, maybe it was the one before that. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Revelations didn't exist, and they decided in the authoring, the editing of the Bible, that they needed something to wrap it all up at the end, and so somebody wrote a last chapter, and just made shit up.
Nice. I didn't know.
I'm trying to remember
that's where Revelations comes from.
Revelations was, I believe, added in the 4th century AD.
Okay.
So that's what I think. I'm not that up. I mean, I'm not big on biblical history like some people in the community are. So I can just, I could sort of just picture myself talking about this and stuff, and someone like Divine Disbelief or Digital Hammurabi, just cutting me out if I try and talk too much about biblical history. But
now that I hear that makes sense, because the way that you can tell that the Old Testament was written a certain way. It has a certain feel, like the rhythm of reading it. Different than the new, right? But then if you read Revelations, it does not fit at all into the writing structure or the rhythm of the rest of it. It feels very foreign. I've always noticed that since I was a kid. look at everything and go to Revelation and go, look at all the numerology and look at all the weird symbology they talk about, which they don't have as much in. It feels like they crammed a bunch of crap together for Revelation. So that makes sense there, Jenny.
There's a little bit of it in the prophetic literature in the Old Testament, and it seems inspired by that.
Yeah, but
you are absolutely right. Not to that extreme. It's completely bizarre in the extent of it in Revelations.
And then how they worded it, and then they just crunched a bunch of they compacted a bunch of weird stuff together that seemed like, yeah, they were trying. Okay, this is a story. We have to wrap it up. We have to put an ending to it.
All right,
but we can't make it so that it's very apparent what it exactly means, right? Because then you'd have all these crazies out there trying to get the end to happen for sure. If you said this is how you made it happen, what they did is made it very, very cryptic on figuring out when the end is going to be through symbology and through numerology. So yeah, it's interesting. That's good to know. Makes sense.
I mean, I was in just before I obviously started my own streams up. I was on One Ring stream where we were talking about mythology and media. And okay, we mainly dealt with like polytheistic sort of mythologies, but just how the way that's misrepresented or not even always misrepresented, but isn't always treated with respect and so on. But I mean, I view the Bible as mythology as well, which I think most atheists would view that as another mythology. So I mean, but it's weird when the problem a lot when we talk about a lot of like, because people know my background. I used to be a polytheist, and I was very much I've only, like I said, I'll try and get this full screen if I can. I'll try and get myself full screen in a second. Okay. I don't know how much. That's I don't know how well you can see that tattoo, guys.
Thor's hammer.
Yeah, it's the only tattoo I've ever had done. I was so you can see I was very much I used to about 2.5 years ago, 2.5 maybe 3 years ago, I was a practicing pagan. But it was even interesting. You look at a lot of the Norse myths and whatever. A lot of the mythology we have written down was written down by Christian authors because of during the time period, a lot of the Norse myths were kind of an oral tradition, where and when they got written down, it was sort of put in this kind of, I don't know, sort of a version that would be acceptable, I suppose, to Christians, but.
Well, it was definitely put down in the context. I've studied it a little bit. I actually got a master's degree in science of religion, and I did my thesis on neo-pagan. The Danish neo-pagan organization of Fonsider. So the thing is, there are two main sources to or maybe three, I would say, to Norse mythology. One, there's Saxo Grammaticus, the chronicle of Danish history. Then there is the Older Edda, or the Elder Edda, which is poetry. And then there is the Younger Edda, written by Snorri Sturlason, which was basically a book that he wrote because at that time the art of being a troubadour in the Old Norse tradition, which is actually called a skjold or a scold.
Skald, yeah, as a poet. A poet, yeah.
Yes, exactly. A scold was that culture and that tradition was being lost. And what Snorri wanted to do was to preserve it, and he wrote a book which was supposed to be about that. However, he very, very quickly gets lost in explaining the first thing about it, which was the mythology and the tradition that they kind of lived in. And he ends up just telling a very, very long, extensive story about all the Norse myths that he remembers, and that this Skald tradition happened inside or draw its inspiration from. So it's not so much actually that it's palatable for Christians, but there's still a filter. There's still you still need to be critical of what he writes, but still he actually managed to preserve a lot of Norse mythology that way, which would have otherwise got lost. So, and he was a Christian monk.
Yeah. I just wanted to respond to something very quickly in the chat. Monica, it says, I like this, even though we're believed differently. Monica's Christian, we can still be friends. My first atheist friend was when I was in high school. Okay, yeah. Obviously most of my community or whatever around us, most of us are atheists. I've got a few polytheists in the little friends. I'll just say this, Monica, you do hear us bashing on Christianity. Don't take it personally. Christians are welcome around my channel. It's mainly, should we say, dishonest agents who guys are come into my live chat under the guise of Christianity that I don't have time for. Daft Dawkins, but yeah, I mean, there's actually, if you want to look back through my videos, Monica, I'll try and find a link to it and post it in a bit in the chat. But I actually had a chat on here several months ago with a good friend of mine, Gavin, who's a Christian. And we just had a very good, honest discussion about beliefs, and it wasn't nasty or anything, and it was just trying to understand each other's position a bit better, which is a sort of conversation I like to have. So
what would be really interesting though? Have Slim tell us all about his sideshow act.
Yeah, well, Slim wants to give us a little teaser about that, and the only reason I say that is that at some point I actually do want to get him on the channel for more in-depth like talk with Slim. But if he does want to get us you do want us to give us a little too long didn't read version, Slim, Right. Okay.
No, that's just one act. I have 10 world records right now. I'm the smallest person in the world to swallow a 2-foot sword that's 2 inches wide. So on the stream sometime we'll definitely I'll do some other acts, and in a minute I'll grab something else.
Yeah.
The skull behind me is the long lost skull of Abel. So you know how Abel was killed by his brother by getting hit in the head with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
So I have his skull back there, and then I have a old mountain man badger cap. So I run an oddities tent as well. That we have lots and lots of dead things. That's what some of the stuff in the background is a bunch of dead things that I have in my show. One of the other world records I have is I rode a mechanical bull for 12 seconds with that sword down my throat.
Whoa, my word.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Wow.
Oh, hold on.
I can't imagine.
Hold on. I just realised someone's backstage. So, yeah, keep talking, Slim. But I just want to welcome Amanda.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Amanda. Yeah, I know. I know you probably can't stick on too long, so I know you've had a rough couple of days, but
Yeah, I just wanted to come in and because you're one of my best friends, Jeff. So I love you.
yeah.
Say happy birthday, sweetheart.
Thanks, Amanda. Yeah. I just actually say that I'll just actually say whilst you're listening, Slim, because I said I want to get Slim on the channel at one time. I'm hoping Amanda's going to come on and co-host that with me. But
Of course.
Slim's got a really just to let people know, I met Slim a couple of months ago on the iNetwork. And it was a bit of a chance thing that we actually talked to one another because we got kind of double booked on the same show. Like they were like one of them invited me onto pub chat that night, and I think if I remember, I think it was Tatty said, "You want to come and do pub chat that night?" and like billed me, and then but sarcastic barman had booked Slim, and it's like, okay, so I said, let's just go on together, let's have a talk. But I was like so interested listening to Slim. I was like, well, I need to get him on to have a proper talk with him.
When he's on, what I really want to talk to him about is how he feels and thinks about bodily autonomy and some social pressures about sideshows then and now kind of thing.
You mean about people with deformities or
well, that's part of it. But for example, in bars, was it 10, maybe 15 years ago, dwarf tossing was very popular. Well, now you're not even allowed to use the word dwarf.
Yeah.
And oh, you can't do that to those people. It's degrading. Well, if he chooses to do that and he gets paid for it, what's the problem? Doesn't he have autonomy to be able to choose that?
That's a fun and interesting line. What I always tell people is, if they have the mental capacity to choose to join my show, then they work. If they don't want to, then they don't. You know, like I had a little person in my troupe for 2 years. He was 2.5 feet tall. We called him Little Timmy, the smallest man in Denver. And we had people come up to us all the time yelling at us saying, how can you abuse him? I'm like, he's working. He's doing stuff. What are you talking about? I'm not abusing him. If he wants to leave, he can leave, you know, like I'm giving him a choice to work if he wants to. Otherwise, he would be going door to door selling siding for houses. That was his other job. And he wanted to be on stage. So it's like, why not do this? I have another gentleman in my troupe who has 3 fingers on each hand. So he has like the crab claws.
Right.
And he's a teacher for his other job. He puts himself on stage every day, even with a deformity. You know, I mean, it's not being in sideshow, right? I mean, it's, you know, but he's choosing to be in public. So it's your choice. If you have the mental capacity to be able to choose, that's the thing, is because this doesn't happen very much anymore because we understand how to have healthier pregnancies. There's less deformities happening because we understand health and people aren't around lead while they're pregnant, and you know, these other things that were kind of causes for some of these things in the past. So that's why some of them have gone away. But the other thing is, there are places for we understand what these things are, and now there's not a mystery, and so now I can't say this person's from Borneo and throw them on stage, and so that nostalgia kind of left as well. That was the thing they were using people for, was saying they're from a foreign country and they're deformed, and look at how the Christians were using it as a tool to make themselves look normal.
Yeah. Add to
Thank-
that a little bit.
Go on, Linda.
You talk about having the mental capacity to choose, and this reminds me of I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about women in Islam, actually, and how they're raised to believe that freedom for them is wrong. So that we as Americans, as a free country, want to be able to give them the freedom. It upsets us to look at this, but then is it their choice, whether or not they can be free or not, or if they continue to be, treated as they are as women in Islam, even though when they get to that point, if they have the choice to take that freedom, they think they to their core think it's wrong because that's what they're indoctrinated to believe. So.
I completely agree with you, Slim. That if somebody is choosing to do it and they have the intellectual capacity to be making a proper decision for themselves, that they should be completely allowed to. I mean, it's an income, and it's their choice how they want to deal with their body, whatever that body is
And
looks like.
And I believe in the past, most of them actually did. They just wrote they didn't, or they just pretended they, you know what I'm saying? Because some of the pinheads, if you actually read their history, like their memoirs, I guess, or their biographies, I think is the right word. They actually made intelligent decisions until their grave. They had a will, and somehow their overseer or the person watching over them usually only did certain steps, right? But if you had somebody who was investing in real estate, they obviously knew something. Like their handler isn't just going to get them tied in real estate. You know what I'm saying? So you can see patterns in some of these people's history where you're like, well, it may seem that they may not be mentally stable or able to, but they probably were. There are certain cases where people were sold into it as children, and that is the very a wrong thing.
Yeah.
But once you're old enough, if you feel you want to be on stage, then freaking be on stage. If you want to get a desk job where you work at home on a phone, then do that. Whatever you want to do, just do that.
Right. What I was just thinking, there were many of these, what do you want to call it? For lack of a better word, quote unquote, freaks, who were actually the bosses of the show that they were participating in. They were actually the ones making all the money and paying the guy who comes out on stage and says, look at this absolute freak of nature. And the one who was on display was actually the boss, paying the one who was giving them orders on stage.
And that's exactly kind of what I was getting at. Like when you look at people's biographies of their life, it isn't somebody just pushing them around, showing them what to do. It's they actually were the head of that freak show or the sideshow, or they were getting paid more than anybody else. And unfortunately, sometimes they were giving too big of a chunk to the owner or the person running the circus. But again, they were making a lot of money, and in certain cases were very rich and came off to be very rich.
Let me ask you something.
Do you get pushback?
I just want to, before you do this, just Amanda's had to bounce. I just want to say thanks to her for popping in for a few minutes. Yeah, I just got to go. I'm desperate for a cigarette right now, so I'll just let you guys talk about yourself for a few minutes, because I can't smoke in the house. So.
I have to bounce out too pretty quick, but I just have one question. I don't want to steal your thunder for having a whole show on this. Do you get pushback when you use the word freak show?
We used to, but I've been calling myself a freak since I was 14. and being as fully modified as I am with my like tongue split and everything, I don't let people downplay that. In the BD in certain underground communities, let's put it that way, calling yourself a freak is a positive thing, and it also is another thing that we use to make like Christians and religious people feel uncomfortable. It's an easy tool to use. So nowadays, I think we flipped it. It doesn't mean that somebody that looks weird because they were born that way. I guess it more means that you decided you were going to change yourself enough to call yourself one. We use it pretty prevalent in our sideshow, just because I think it gives me power. It's empowerment for me.
I'd love to come to see your sideshow. I think it'd be great.
Well, if you check out my channel, I have videos of my performances, and in the private chat, I will leave the video link to the performance I just did for the Colorado Satanic Temple.
Cool.
So I pierced my throat 6 times for that show for them. So I will. I'll post the link for that.
Do you have that? Do you have that condition where your skin is special stretchy?
I have somewhat elastic skin, but I don't have that a condition. But there's ways to like kind of fake it, and there's certain places in the skin if you keep stretching it, it will kind of. So there are times where I do use that in my act, and then I do contortionism where like I fit through a tennis racket. So,
Cool.
Oh no, really?
yeah.
I've seen that. That is an amazing feat. When somebody
I
does
can
that.
do this. I can do this. Let me show you.
But yeah, that's an old.
Can't hear you, Hop.
Yeah, he's just putting his arms around his head and twisting them. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
What was that? What was that?
I could pick my nose if you want me to. I don't usually practice that, but
I had my headphones out when you were doing whichever comment you did, Slim. What did you say?
She was asking what you were doing because she couldn't hear you, and so I was saying you were just bending your arms around. But that was cool. Oh, that was really cool.
Okay, yeah. It's the one thing that I can do.
I can do this one.
We can't see you.
Oh, that's right. I'm off camera. I said I can do this one.
Ah, right.
There you go. Yeah.
So can I.
And Microraptor, you're correct. Freak is kind of what we've used to empower ourselves going against hate. So they used to call us freak as a negative, and now it's an empowerment thing, kind of like other words in different scenes that they use, where you use it as empowerment instead of a negative against your culture.
Sure. Own the language.
Yeah.
All right, I got to skedaddle, you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's been fun. Great to meet you, Slim.
Oh,
and I'll be back on.
Another thing I can do is I can put my my third and small finger together and then push my ring finger through that gap.
I used to be able to do one. I'm way out of practice. Okay, where I can bend just the top digit of my fingers. I used to be able to take it a whole 90 degrees.
Yeah, I can see that. I however can't do that at all.
You used to be able to do all kinds of things.
But Slim, one thing I really
I just practiced that. It's not some weird joint or nothing. I just practiced it.
I can't do that at all. But I do have relatively flexible fingers, though. But Slim, one thing I wanted to ask you is, I love the things that you said that the people that you have employed in your show can leave whenever they want, if they want to. But how many people have answered to that? Something to the effect of, "Yeah, sure, that's what everyone says," or "Of course you're saying that, but they really can't." How often do you get pushback like that when you tell them that?
Well, usually they're somebody who they're claiming we shouldn't have on stage is near me, and I usually go, "Come here, little Timmy, tell him what your other job was before I hired you. And he's like, oh man, I had to walk door to door to sell siding, and he's a little person. His feet are only, and so we.
What is
turned
siding?
around.
Sorry, I'm from Denmark. I don't think I know about the word siding.
So they sell plastic covering for your house. You don't have to like take care of your house. It's
Okay.
It's a cheap
Okay.
outer covering for your house.
Never heard of siding before. Cool. Thanks for the for filling me in.
Yeah, and so what we were and it was true, and so we weren't using it for sympathy, but what we were saying was, instead of him walking door to door to make money, he gets to sit on that stage and be a famous person. You know what I'm saying? He gets to be king of the stage, because there's a hierarchy in the sideshow scene. Little people with interesting deformities or with changes of their body, and then I'm a working freak. I changed my body into being a freak, so I'm one of the lower on the totem pole. So actually, the king and queens of the industry are people that they think that shouldn't be on stage, and it's like no, he makes all the money. The reason why we have this gig is because of him, and he gets all the money. Like, I pay him well. And when they come up and they say that, and he comes up and he goes, huh, look, and he pulls $1,000 out of his pocket, and like flashes it and puts it back in his pocket and goes, yeah, no, I'm good, and he walks away. And they're like, well, we can't disagree with that, because, giving people opportunity to work. And if they didn't want to work, they didn't have to be on that stage.
That's fascinating. Absolutely love your story, man.
Some people have a calling for being on stage, and some people don't. So people feel like it's very foreign and very scary. But for me, I'd be if I could live on stage in front of people that you just rotate through the stages, all day, an hour, every day. I die from dehydration and from starvation, no sleep doing it. That's how much I love being a performer. Being on that stage is what drives my blood, or makes me want to do things. And so when people say that I'm abusing somebody because I'm putting them on stage, I go, man, you don't understand what it's like to want to be on stage.
No, apparently they don't. I used to play the bagpipe on an amateur level, but I was still quite good at it, and I was playing in a good band, and we traveled around the world playing, and I love being on stage. So I know the kind of kick you get from that, definitely.
And then for me, what happened was I started doing magic in 5th grade. So I was 12 years old when I started doing magic tricks, and I was doing corporate gigs. So I dress up like the Easter Bunny or Santa's Little Helper or a leprechaun. And then I would go do magic for the kids while the parents were getting drunk, during the business party or doing business, and I'd entertain them. So I began my entertainment career young. Then I began playing music. I started playing saxophone in elementary school, and then I started getting in bands. Then it came to college, and we started putting on raves, and I went to college for electronic music production. What I found out was there are no such things as rock stars anymore. There's not Marilyn Mansons, there's not Rob Zombies, there's not, So I began my career in sideshow because I figured I couldn't make money doing music. And that's when people started throwing money at me to swallow a sword and to put knives in myself and to pierce my body and to do things. And I went, wow, I think I'm going to run with this. And so that's where I began training. And I spent 2 years shoving stuff down my gullet until I could swallow a sword. And I had 2 world-renowned sideshow artists actually train me to swallow. And then I stretched the cartilage inside my skull to fit larger objects. Wow. So I can now fit a knife inside my skull. So, yeah.
Wow.
been a very interesting journey, and I can lift a keg with my ears. So yeah, So like this. What? Huh?
Sorry, I was just responding to.
So like this.
I was just set up. Hissy, you have the link. I did send it to you, and Sam, I think I've sent it to you as well.
Noodle says hi.
Noodle. Has she changed your channel name or something?
Well, that's somebody's ring too.
Oh no, Noodle. Noodle and
Hi.
One Ring.
Yep.
Hey.
Sorry.
Because I've been calling you.
He got occupied.
Can I actually ask you? Are you going by Noodle now?
Yeah, I'm going to start going by Noodle instead of Hissy, but if you've known me as Hissy, you're fine to call me Hissy.
I will try and get that into my head. And for those who don't know, Slim, you don't know, I regularly, like for the last few months, like barring 1 or 2 weeks, I've hosted a stream with Noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, if I keep saying Hissy, please forgive me.
Hey, but don't worry about it. You're cool.
Yeah, if I do that, because forgive me, because I've just gotten so used to calling you Hissy. I'll try to get it into my head to call you Noodle, but
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll pull me up on it eventually, but Noodle and I would do a we've been doing a stream over the last few months where we've been reviewing the Asterix comics. We have a lot of fun doing it, so
yeah. And I know Hops is a regular watcher of those streams. Always appreciate your input on that, Hops.
You're welcome.
What are those?
They're French comics. Asterix de Gaulle. It's sort of set in about 50 BC, and it's like the Romans have invaded Gaul, but you've got this one little village that's managed to hold out against the Roman occupation because the druid knows how to brew this potion that gives the Gauls superhuman strength.
Nice.
And there's the two main characters, Asterix, who's kind of like the real clever tiny little guy, but the real clever little warrior of the thing. And his main sidekick is Obelix, who's, I suppose, for lack of a better term, he's the big dumb but kind-hearted brute kind of thing. And he fell into the pot of magic potion when he was a baby, so he's permanently got superhuman strength.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of good satire and stuff in the Asterix comics, and a lot of good historical jokes. I will give you a warning that some of the depictions of minorities in there do not stand up well, and Noodle and I have talked about that at length on streams.
Well, back anything written 30 years ago or past, I mean, doesn't usually hold up very well to others.
It was drawn in the 60s and 70s.
So
by a Frenchman.
Yeah, and I totally will get that there's gonna be that in there, even though I understand that it's obviously wrong. But that's one of the things that you have to take with a grain of salt when you read stuff.
Yeah. To put it into perspective, one of the recurring characters in this series is a Numidian pirate. Who takes every single trope of the how not to draw a person of African descent. I'm talking big lips, big eyes, thick neck.
Yeah, I know
all of it.
It's I hate to use this term, but to give it the kind of but to give it the kind of gravitas of what it is almost depicting is the big African gorilla is kind of how it is drawn. And I hate to use that sort of terminology, but
that's what you're looking at. Let's be honest.
That is what you're looking at. If we're going to be, blunt about it.
Anyway, Jeff, happy birthday for tomorrow. Cheers.
Yep.
Noodle, what are you having?
Noodle.
I'm on. I need someone who speaks Polish to pronounce this.
Tiski.
Tiski.
I think it's Tushki. Tiskia.
I can't pronounce it in the Polish, so I've always pronounced it Tushka. Tushka.
I think they pronounce the two vowels at the end as two vowels.
I'd say tushy. That's what I would call it. Tushy beer.
I don't know much about Polish, but I did study Russian when I was in high school, and most Slavonic languages you will actually pronounce all the letters pretty much.
Yeah.
So guys, we have another one. Sam. Welcome.
Yes.
Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So
happy birthday for tomorrow, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'll just say because you know everyone else, Sam. But Slim, Sam, One Ring, and I just keep trying to say Noodle, but I always go to Hissy. But
Noodle.
I've known her for Hissy for so long, but it's like Noodle.
Yeah. You've only ever known me as Hissy, so it's fair.
Hey, Noodle.
Noodle.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the habit of Noodle. So
that's how I am with people, because some people know me as different names. Some people know me by my real name. Some people just know me as Slim, and then I've had other nicknames. And so whatever the people that know me, they call me, that's what I respond to. Because just like I'm not going to make it confusing.
I do know. I mean, I probably know. I do know your real name, but I don't want to give it out publicly.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You're not going to dox me, but yeah.
No, but I know.
I go by various names as well, so that's fair. I mean, I go by my real name, Sam, Cassie, whatever I've gone by within a group.
I mean, my name's out there, so I'm not bothered. I'm pretty. I'm kind of pretty public with my real name, so
Well, and the other
not everybody wants to be, so
Nice.
Well, and the other thing is, my real name is Landon, and sometimes older ladies think it's Brandon, so I will just let them go with it. I'm just like, yeah, honey, that's what it is. If they can't, and if they don't know that my name is not, it's whatever.
You're one of my two favorite Landons. I'll say that much. Slim, I'm only saying that because I've been on the stream a couple of times with Landon Kurt Knoll. I'll be like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. All of us put together, if Landon Knoll was in the room, we're gonna feel stupid next to that man. But he's a really nice. Landon Knoll is he's a computer scientist, but I mean he's just what he is like. He was like as a child, he was just a prodigy. He's just one of like the. I mean, he's like one of the. He's in like the top sort of 5% like intelligent people on the planet. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things that. Anytime I'm in a stream with him, I feel stupid but I always learn something. But he's always really nice. He's not like he doesn't act like he's above people or that anything. He's just really cool guy. So
yeah.
Oh, hi Chad.
Yeah.
Before people got on, I was going to do something with my knife, but I don't know if everybody's ready for this.
That depends on what you're going to do with
it. How many? Yeah, I'm going to say you guys only just jumped in. I don't know. You don't know much
I
about
am
Slim.
perfectly-
You
I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm aware of what was about to happen, I think.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll probably talk about my sideshow history a little bit more first, and then get warmed up to what was going to happen.
Oh, you're not like a knife swallower or something, are you?
Well, I'm a sword swallower, but we're not.
Oh,
But we're not
yeah.
doing that on stream this time. That's going to be
Okay.
another stream that we're going to like make sure that we like. I have like a script, or at least like I have a way to go with what we're going to talk about, and I'll do a tiny show and everything. I was just going to show that, but we'll do that in a minute. So I was talking about my world records. Let's see. I lifted a full-size keg with my ears while I stood on broken glass. So that's another.
Oh, my feet are hurting in sympathy.
And then while a punk band was playing, I pulled them in a wagon by my ears. So that was a 4-person punk band that was playing in a wagon.
Wow.
okay?
Obviously.
By the way, I am going to get Slim on my channel to have a proper in-depth.
I was about
talk,
to say
right,
you need
so-
to do that, Jeff.
Yeah, actually, sorry, Noodle. I'm always stopping myself right now. But
Don't worry
I'm-
about it, Jeff. Seriously.
Yeah, but yeah, if I just say hissy, just don't jump down on me. But
I won't. I promise.
yeah, but no, I've been planning to have Slim on for a while, but obviously you're aware of some personal stuff that happened with me with the bereavement I had, and obviously a lot of plans I had in the pipeline for things I was going to do in my channel kind of got put on hold because of that. But I'd met Slim a few months ago on the iNetwork when they accidentally double booked us. It was really cool. So we just both went on, and I just sort of just like sat back and was listening to Slim in awe, and I was like, dude, I've got to get you on my channel at some point.
Yeah,
we've
I
got
have to
a
say,
talk.
I'm sat looking at you, Slim, and I'm just fascinated by your tattoos. I just love the tattoos. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I am just I always get fascinated by tattoos. You've got one there that looks like
This one?
Yeah, is that a
Oh, hold on, can I put you?
It is biomechanical. My skin's ripped open, and it's my gears.
Okay, sorry, I'm putting you full screen for a second, Slim.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It
Well,
needs color.
Just so you know, he goes his full title he
Yeah.
goes by is Slim the Living Cyborg.
Okay.
So which will give you a bit of an idea of
And then I have magnets implanted in my body. I have LEDs implanted in my body and microchips implanted in my body as well. So the LEDs are field testers, and when you have an NFC reader that is near it, it will make the LEDs light up and blink. And then,
you mean like your phone for your contactless?
Yeah. So to tell if it's working or not, I'll try to make it work right now. Sometimes it's hard to show, but you just go into the settings and turn on your NFC reader, and then I'm hoping it will.
let me put you full screen just so people can see this.
Oh,
See, there's like a little green. There was like a little green light I saw there at some point.
So there's a white light that blinks.
All right.
Yeah, I see like it's a little green dot moving up and down. But yeah,
Yeah. That's
It's actually this white light that's supposed to blink. So hold on, it hasn't blinked yet. I don't know why it's being still today, but anyways,
The green light's from the camera, I think.
Yeah, it's from the camera.
Yeah.
But when I that's really weird. I can't get it to work right now.
So if it's an NFC chip,
yeah,
so you can take payments.
I can what?
You can take payments. Because NFC chips are the things that you can use to make contactless payments on your card with your phone. So you can take card payments.
Yes, I'm working on getting the American encoded version to be able to use it for payment. That was the original reason why I got it, was to pay for things with my hand. But the encryption isn't up yet. I don't want to do it until it's completely triple encrypted. Even though there's no way for anybody to know that it's on my hand and to be able to get close enough to me and to take it. But I'm waiting until the banks say it's safe enough in the Americas to use, and then I can use it. In Sweden and in Germany, I believe they're already using the technology in the microchips. To ride the bus in Sweden, I think it is.
Yeah, no, we have it in the UK. We have NFC for Apple and Android. Samsung have got a payment system. So have Google.
We have all the payment systems here. We have all the payment systems here. The only thing is making it so that they can put it in my chip. They have to make the bank has to make a specific link that an NFC reader can read that only is my bank account. So I'm working with encoders right now to make it so that my bank account hooks up to it, and then I can swipe it. The coding they have right now is in Swedish and in German. So I'm having a little bit of trouble translating it and getting it flipped over to use it here in the Americas. You know what I'm saying? So
throw it to me. I'll translate that in a jiffy.
Okay. Well, I'll send you the coding that they sent me that I sent some of my friends and went, I don't know. I know a little bit of coding. That's why I call myself a cyborg, because I've been building computers since I was 14. So I know what a motherboard is and RAM and, the components. And I know CC plus and things like that. But
that's your first
when they sent me the coding for this thing, I was just, I didn't know where to start. And then I sent it to a couple other friends, and they said, well, we'll start working on it, but since you're not paying us right now, it's in the back burner. So I have 2 coders that are slowly working on it so that I can play with my hand.
If it's code, is that really code in Swedish and German?
I don't know. They said there's some weird translation between the software, maybe. I think it's the software translation between American readers and Swedish readers.
Okay, I will say I don't know anything at all about coding, but I know Swedish and German, the Swedish and German languages pretty well.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the thing.
I think it's something about the readers being able to read in different languages. I think it's the language reader, because it's not everything is ones and zeros when you're talking about these things. You're talking about weird numbers and codes that make out the encryption, right? So it can be anything. It can be exclamation points. It can be ones. It can be, so it turns into this weird coding. And then also, if I don't know, for some reason they told me that the English card reader was going to be different than the ones in Sweden. And if somebody can figure that out, please tell me, because I would love.
Okay, so I happen to be a programmer.
Okay.
And programming languages have syntax, but the syntax is language specific. And so the syntax has to change from language to language. Now, some programming languages are a bit bigger and a bit bulkier in terms of how much space they take up on your computer. And that's because they can cope with syntax from any language. But some of them are not like that. And this will be one that's not like that. And so they've had to reprogram it a second time for Swedish and a third time for German, or however they're doing it. But when they're programming it, there will be slight differences because of the way language works, because they try and write it in more of a pseudocode style such that it will be easier to read for a layperson. So if then statements, for example. And a
Yeah.
computer doesn't need it to say if and then. It's humans that need it to say that.
Okay.
And humans in different languages. Linguistics is a bit weird in that concepts don't necessarily translate between languages. And because concepts don't translate between languages, when you're writing coding, two coders in two different languages will do it slightly differently. So unless they have like an incredibly cohesive team, then it's going to be a little bit different and have a bit of variation in it as to how it actually functions.
I feel like Sam, Hopswatch, and Slim need to have a really in-depth conversation about all of this. Between
Possibly,
the three
yeah.
of you, you might be able to work it out, I think.
Yeah.
I feel a bit late to the bandwagon. You're saying you've been building computers since you were 14. I only just put the orders for components in 3 days ago for my first build.
With help, I built my first computer at 8.
Yeah.
By myself, I think I was 13.
Yes, well, that's what I was around. I was around 12 when my stepdad gave me, the frame, and then he said, "Here's how, these different parts, put them together." And my stepdad was not very nice to me in a learning way. He taught me in a very difficult way. He gave me the components to things and told me to figure it out. And then when I didn't figure it out, he'd come over and scold me for not figuring it out, and then kind of show me and then walk away. And he made it very hard for me to learn steps for things. But then I eventually did. And then when I was younger, I learned C++, and then the basic Java. Yeah, and then Java. And so the basic, old school coding is what I learned. And nowadays stuff, I'm lost.
So I am familiar with Java and with C++, though I prefer C#. And Python I dislike, but I use because of the field I'm going into.
I barely know Python, but that's where I start getting confused because that's the newer stuff where I get a little bit lost,
So
Python
Python tried to make the syntax more user-friendly. And they did if you're starting out, because they knocked out some of the components you can control. But because they knocked out some of the control components, you have less influence over what you can actually do with it. But the stuff you can do with it is stronger and faster.
Right, I'm sat here and I'm just lost now because I can barely make a computer boot from DOS.
So, like when Slim was talking about, receiving the payment with the chip in his hand, like the ex-evangelical in me, I was like, "Mark of the beast, mark of the beast."
No,
I had a whole.
Yeah.
I only discovered ADB for deleting stuff off an Android phone last night because I got annoyed by the new update. So I went and Googled it.
I've previously, when my phone's been broken and refusing to turn on, plugged it into my computer and used a command line to make my phone turn on.
Yeah. Basically what I did last night, I used the command line to delete a couple of apps off there that are built the bloatware. Well, I didn't technically delete them. I deleted them for user 0, so they're still technically on there.
Well,
if you remove,
you know what a command line is.
Well, yeah, I know what a command line is. Just
but
that's about the level I'm at.
But 90% of the world has no idea what we're talking about, even just on that level.
Say command line to most people I know, they stare at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what? They're like, "You want me to stand in line while you command me to do what? Is this some BDSM thing? What?"
I'll come back in. By the way, I'll come back in on a good point there. As you just said that, go and check out Sit Down with the Bunkers from yesterday. Slim was on there talking about that very subject.
Yeah.
What, BDSM or command line?
Yes.
The BDSM. So,
I work for the Fetish Dungeons in Denver. I did a set for the Colorado Satanic Temple yesterday.
Ooh.
Obviously, it's the virtual thing, but we did a show for them. And then I work for the Swinger Corporations in Denver as well. And so I'm very involved in the sex worker and sex scene in the area I live in. And I found out the other day I'm actually a sex worker. I just realized that. I don't actually sell myself, but work in the industry, you actually are, you know, when you are getting paid to go on stage to beat people for money. I actually am a sex worker.
You're a sex worker, yeah.
Yeah. I don't actually sell myself, but I'm in the industry. And so, yeah, it was 2 days ago. Me and some people were talking. We went, oh my God, I am a sex worker.
That's fair.
There's a link, guys. If you want to check that out when we're done. But Slim was on equality with Sit Down with Debunkers, and Noodle, you were on there a couple of weeks ago as well, weren't you? With
we were doing human rights.
Really,
yeah.
It's sorry, it is a channel that I massively support. So it's out for that one, and I did. Well, I'll give. She's not here, but I will give the news anyway in case anyone's heard it. I did send her an invite. I did send Ilya Moon an invite to this, but I haven't heard back from her. And maybe she's just taking it easy or just isn't up to date. But I will give a little update on her behalf because she's gone public with this. As people may know, Noodle, like we did actually plug her fundraiser for her cancer treatment a month or two ago. Ilya announced a day or two ago that she is officially cancer free.
Oh, I hadn't heard.
So I will. It's a double celebration in a way. So could we? She's not. I mean, if she's, I've seen her in the chat. But if Ilya, if you are lurking there, cheers to you. That is really great news.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I was amazed to hear that. I didn't know. I got scheduled to rescheduled a couple times to be on.
Yeah, I think they've had some problems with someone struck them for copyright, so they can't live stream on that channel at the moment, from what I gather. But
and that as well. But a couple months ago, I was rescheduled to be on, and I didn't know exactly why, and I got rescheduled. And I'm one of those people that I'll work with somebody until they give me a reason to not work with them. So I wasn't told exactly why, and then I rescheduled. And then yesterday we were on, and she let us know that she is, in that state, and so that's wonderful to hear, and I'm glad to know that,
yeah.
That is excellent news.
Yeah,
that is absolutely excellent because we all love because Ilya. I mean, Ilya is one of the best friends I've got in this community, and that really, that was such good news to hear that. So,
and I feel like their channel is pushing equality and sexuality, and that's something that I don't see anywhere else. And I may be not on those channels, but I'm so glad they had me on.
They've done very well because they only started a few months ago, and they're closing in on 4,000 subs. They've grown really fast. So
I haven't had a chance to sit down with the debunkers yet, but I need to.
Yeah. Well, I've been on. I haven't been on Equality, but I've been on the Creepy Show a few times, which is such fun to do. Myself and Newton. I begged them to get Noodle on with me one time. I was like, please get her on. Please get her on with me.
Yeah, I think you introduced me to the debunkers, Jeff.
Yeah, I was like, please get. The only thing I'll say, Noodle, is the time you went on there in Equality, I think you were getting Ilya and Globe and Mum confused because you kept calling her Ilya. And I was there in live chat and said, that's not Ilya, that's Glober.
I spent the whole evening calling Globe and Mum Ilya, and they didn't correct me on the stream, and I didn't realise till after we went off air.
Yeah.
And then I realised, and I was like, oh, you have
I put it in a live chat. I was like, I was like, hissy, you know. Sorry, Noodle.
Yeah. Nah, you're cool. It was hissy back then.
Yeah, it was hissy at the time. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to get Jen to redo our title screen now for Asterix.
Yeah.
There you
Well, we
go.
needed one for season 2 anyway, so.
Yeah. But obviously, I'm gathering it's Snake references anyway because you're hissy
Yeah,
to Noodle. So
it's still Snake references. It's just I've realised that I have because most of my activity is in sort of fandom stuff. I have a much broader reach as Noodle than I do as Hissy. So I don't really want to be in a position where I've got 2 different online personas. So I'm kind of merging them. Plus, Noodle is a bit less feminine sounding to my ears.
Yeah, it is
Noodle's
Noodle.
a bit more gender. Yeah, it's a bit more sort of.
Are
gender
you
neutral?
Sorry, so are you going to have a different pronouns now as well?
You can stick with she, her, or most of the time it's she, her. Occasionally it's they, them.
Okay.
So I like to either, and I won't jump down the throat if you can't
I just wanted to know, that was all. So you know.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's another reason why I like going just by Slim. Like, if people want to identify, because I most of the panel doesn't actually know me, so we'll go over this. I started wearing dresses in public at 14 and wearing makeup in San Diego. So in 1994, 1992, I was wearing dresses and makeup in the ghetto. So I'm walking around gangs wearing dresses as a man.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say, with that accent, were you okay?
Yeah. So I've been gender bending for a lot of my life, and being either a man or a woman at different times. So
cool.
I prefer to just people call me Slim because that is gender neutral. Yeah. Doesn't, you know, there's no, just say Slim if you're gonna say whatever. And I like it because it's just, you know, it's easy. It's not a long word, so just Slim.
Well, that's just kind of how I know you anyway. This is Slim, so
that makes sense.
Well, when people ask me what gender that I classify myself as, I'm just like, I'm a cyborg, so I'm nothing. So just call me Slim. And if you want to say he or she, just say Slim for me, and then you're golden.
Cool.
And I might have asked this question on the iNetwork actually, Slim, and I'm probably sure I'm going to ask the same question when I get you back on the channel for a proper like in-depth interview. But this is it does have to be asked. Okay, Terminator or RoboCop?
Okay.
Are you trying to start a war, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
I want to get an expert opinion. That's what I want to get.
So Terminator is what gave me the idea to be a cyborg. I love the idea of the apocalypse happening because of robots taking over. So the concept of Terminator is more interesting to me. But the cheesiness of RoboCop makes that movie so awesome. I mean, the catchphrases that he has, the silliness that you would be stupid enough to program a human robot to not understand what to do and what not to do is insane. You know, somebody who's into programming or somebody who knows about coding or robotics even, you know, you would not give that power without a switch off for a cop to kill people with indiscretion, right? And so the absurdity of that movie is fucking awesome because it's silly. And then Taco Bell is like the #1 company, I think. And then there's
that's Demolition Man, isn't it? Where
that's right.
Demolition Man, where Taco Bell is the only restaurant chain left in the world. All restaurants are Taco Bell.
I mean, at that point, I would actively volunteer to be upgraded if it meant I didn't have to eat.
Fun fact: Taco Bell was started by a Marine.
Yeah,
that explains a lot.
Glenn Bell. Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
Is that what you were in, Marine? Were you were a US Marine?
Don't
No.
insult my intelligence thinking I would marry a Marine like that.
I don't know. I didn't know. I knew Ring was in the military. wasn't quite. I never really talked about what branch you were in.
I was in the Army.
Okay.
So is my dad.
So yeah.
So I've never been in the military, but it's like my stepfather was British Army, my mum and my real dad were Royal Navy, and my grandfather was in the Royal Navy, and I've got an uncle who was in the Queen's Guards or such. So it's a bit weird how I've never ended up in the military. But
Was it your mum who was in the Land Army?
Wrens.
The Wrens, yeah.
She was in the Wrens, Women's Royal Navy Service.
Yeah. I keep saying this, and I will say it again: a massively undervalued part of the service, underappreciated.
Well, they don't exist anymore because the women are just part of the Royal Navy now, which is a good thing in a sense. But it was a sort of separate thing, the Women's Royal Navy Service. It was like a separate little branch, but it's been integrated into the actual Royal Navy now. So
yeah,
but
I mean, as it should be, really. But it. I guess kind of cool that it was initially its own little thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a great believer in if you can pass the fitness tests and you're willing to do it, it shouldn't really matter what your gender or sex is.
Well, this is kind of why we mentioned FTFE earlier on when we were talking flat Earth stuff. The one stream I've been on with him, this is where me and him kind of hit it off because he was in the Royal Navy and he was a submariner, which is what my dad was a submariner. And actually, where he lives now is actually my hometown. It's a bit of a weird thing because it's just a few miles from a naval town in Scotland. So,
is he living in Fife?
Yeah. Well, I'll say I don't want to dock because he's been open. He lives in Dunfermline, which is where I was born.
Okay.
Oh.
So sorry I have to do this, everyone, but I got to jump off because I have poker night with iNetwork.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I want to say, poker is the only card game in the world that I don't lose every time.
Yeah.
We should definitely I keep saying I want to start like a poker game at some point. I know the iNetwork do it, but I want to start.
I've been on Barman's Poker a few times.
You should. I mean, there's no reason why people shouldn't be doing stuff like that. So you should totally start. If you do,
let's play poker together. I'm all in.
Well, I mean, I'll call that. I'm an ex-poker dealer, so I love the game.
We're not doing strip poker on my channel though.
No, not strip poker.
Well, I'm already naked, so we can't do strip poker.
Yeah, but Slim, thanks for popping on. I'll try and sort out with you sometime. I've got to actually get you onto the channel for one. Hopefully, Amanda, Mama Atheist, will join this as well. You like her if you get to talk to her. She's a climate scientist, and but she's also studied astrophysics.
He's
frozen.
He's frozen.
I'll
finish his sentence for him. He used to work for NASA.
Okay, yeah, I know she is, and we'll definitely. I'll be on Godless, and we'll figure it out. And it was good meeting all of you, but and I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Cool, yeah.
Cheers, man.
Take care, Slim.
Always remember to drink responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Right, let's wait for Jeff to catch up.
Yeah.
He's probably going to have to log out and log back in, but if he does, at least we'll still be here.
Well, at least it wasn't my internet this time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I had massive issues in the beginning, and my sound was cutting out all the time, and we found out it was actually my internet connection. But this time, now it's all gone. Are we even live? Still?
Yes, we're still live.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
be
still
back.
live.
Okay.
He just put in the chat that his internet's died.
Yeah.
Cool.
He'll be back. His internet does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does mine.
See, poker's a game that I've very rarely played because like I was saying to Ring and Noodle earlier, their parents. But recently, my mum was okay enough with it that we played a couple of poker games a couple of months before quarantine started.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of poker were you playing?
I think the set was a Hold'em Texas.
5
Texas
cards in the
Hold'em.
middle, 2 in your hand, yeah?
Yeah.
Texas.
That's
Yeah.
what I play usually too.
Yeah, I was thinking because Texas
I
seems to be the one
I have
everyone
no
plays.
poker face.
Tell what happened there. I was just sort of saying goodbye to Slim, and my internet just died.
Yeah,
That's-
no, it's
But
cool.
yeah, yeah, I am gonna get.
Guys,
I'm gonna get
don't
Slim
tell
on
him.
the channels.
Don't
no.
tell.
Is
Don't
Jeff
tell who. He's frozen again.
Oh, he's frozen again. Still, don't tell. Okay.
We won't.
Good.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's got
Oh,
to be a
I'm
way
back.
to set up a Texas game.
Am I
Right,
back?
Are you
he's
back?
back.
Hey, you're back.
Don't
I
tell.
hope so.
Everyone.
My internet is playing silly buggers, and I was just in the process of saying goodbye to Slim, and then my internet cut out.
Yeah, Slim did
You
say
said that
goodbye
last time
back,
as well.
but frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, I apparently I'm not super great at poker yet, but I'm decent, and I've spent my life playing enough different card games that I've got a decent poker face.
Fair.
Mm.
But yeah, Noodle can tell you I have no poker face.
Ring is one of those weird people, has no poker face, but I have a feeling if I sat Ring down to play
Yeah, guys,
poker and taught them the rules, he's good at it.
Guys, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I want to get some nicotine, so
Yeah. Well,
That's fair.
it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh growing up because my stepdad introduced them, and my mum was not allowed. My mum was not allowed to stop me because my stepdad introduced me.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how the hell were you allowed to play Magic?
Because my stepdad played it, and my mum fancied my stepdad, so she let him teach me.
Okay, so your mum was she an evangelical Christian or something like that?
Pentecostal nut.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, more extreme than me growing up. And that's saying something.
So
yeah, how could you fancy?
He was in the he was in the No Narnia Club, or they were in the No Narnia Club. Sorry, Sam.
It's any pronouns, hon. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of them that as best I can tell, my mum disapproved of my dad letting us watch Narnia when we visited my dad's house.
Fair.
And as far as I can tell, off the back of a couple of things that happened with my stepmom, and then my dad letting us watch Harry Potter, my mum tried to reduce it to only seeing my dad like one weekend a fortnight. And it was just like, yeah, not fun.
But yeah, I think
how could you fancy your stepdad then?
Because A, my mum's a hypocrite, and B, she had broken up with my dad when I was 4, and then they got together when I was 10, 11.
fair.
Okay.
But I am I the only one who grew up in? It sounds like I feel like I grew up in a really permissive environment relative to the rest of you. Like I was playing poker at 7, 8 years old for sweets, and around the same age I was watching uncut Bruce Lee films and being given alcohol on a semi-regular basis.
Nope.
And
I none of that. The closest I got was that in college we started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and loser bought the winner a bag of chips.
The
environment I grew up in was pretty permissive as well, I would say. I wasn't given alcohol though, but if I asked if I could taste my dad's or my mum's beer, they would let me.
Yeah. My dad always used to let me taste his drinks, but I was never allowed to drink with my mum until I was like 14, and then I was allowed a sip of her cider sometimes. But then I got to 17 and went, fuck it, I'm not telling you where I'm going, and I'm disappearing off down the pub.
I got to 13 and my mum said there's alcohol in the house. If you're going to drink, at least drink at home where I know I can put you to bed if you get too drunk.
Fair.
I think my mum was of the school of parenting of, if we let them do anything, there's nothing they can do to rebel. And therefore I didn't do anything because there was no novelty.
My dad is very much of that mindset, and now that I'm a bit more developed, it's very nice because my dad's just like, booze is on top of the fridge. If you want backy, it's in my office. If you want dodgy backy, it is in the living room in this drawer.
Yeah, it's in the hidden drawer. Everyone's got a first aid kit somewhere.
My rebellion was reading the Dresden Files.
See, this is less rebellion. This is less rebellion and more that this was shit my dad encouraged.
Dresden Files.
Like my dad, it was the most chill, but my mum was the most uptight, and I don't know how they got on for long enough to have 3 kids together.
What are the Dresden Files?
I call it a cross between Constantine and Harry Potter.
So
it has nothing to do with the Second World War.
No.
No, it's it's modern urban fantasy that follows a wizard detective named Harry Dresden.
Not those Dresden Files. What?
Okay, so nothing to do with the German city of Dresden. No,
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, except that Jim Butcher felt the reference was thematic, given how much Harry likes using fire.
Of course.
All right.
I mean, I find that quite amusing.
Yeah.
Ring has a very specific sense of humor and a very specific taste in authors who all have that sense of humor.
Yeah.
I just, it's that sense of humor where you want to laugh, you almost laugh, and then you groan after you think about it for another second.
Oh, Noodle, did I ever tell you the monk joke? Oh dear, it's quite a long joke. It's great, and I think Ring would possibly approve of it.
Go on.
Okay, so there was this guy, and he was driving along the road, and he was kind of in the mountains at night, and his car broke down, and he went into a nearby monastery that he'd spotted, walked in and said, "Hey, my car's broken down, can I stay the night?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So they fed him, and his car was dragged in by them, and they were quite handy, so they repaired it. And during the night, while he was sleeping, he awoke to a strange noise. In the morning, he asked the monk, what's this strange noise? And the monks said, "We cannot tell you, you are not a monk." And so he said, "Okay, one of life's mysteries," and went on his way. And several years later, he found himself passing back through the same stretch of road again, and his car broke down in the same spot. So he went back to the monastery, spoke to the monks again. They helped him again, remembered him, they were dead friendly with him. But during the night, he heard the same strange noise. And so he asked again, what was the source of that noise? What was that? And they were like, "We cannot tell you. You are not a monk." So he said, fine. If the only way I'm going to find out is to become a monk, how does one become a monk? And they said, "You need to travel the world and count the grains of sand and the blades of grass. Come back and give us those numbers." And so he did. The man spent forever, but I say forever, a long time doing that. And in his old age, he had been to every country, visited every beach, every big city, patch of grass, everything he could find. And let's be real, he probably Googled the answer at the end.
I see where this is going.
But he did all of this, and he was an old man, and he came back to the monastery, and he gave them some really big numbers, And the monk said, "Congratulations, you are now a monk." They did a massive ceremony for him. They gave him some robes and a ceremonial dagger, shaved his head, all sorts. And the monk said, "Congratulations, you are now a monk." And they led him down into the basement. And there was a wooden door there. And the leader of the Order of Monks said, "Behind this door is the source of the noise." So the man tried the door and it was locked. Just like, can I have the key, please? So they handed him a key and he opened the door. And behind the door made of wood was a door made of steel. And so he tried that one. And that was locked. So he asked for another key. And this kind of went on. You see where this goes. And they had doors made of all sorts of precious and semi-precious gemstones, of topaz and quartz, all the way up to precious materials like sapphires and diamonds. And they got to a point where the monk handed him a key and said, "This is the last key to the last door." He put the key in the door, turned the lock, opened the door, and was amazed at what he found. But he can't tell you because you're not a monk.
Yes.
Right, guys. If that joke didn't totally derail this stream, I think this stream is about to be totally derailed. Okay, and do you want to know why?
Why?
Seriously.
Stool is here.
Hey, Stool.
Hey,
Can't
Stool.
introduce me. Dude, I was here to be all nice to you and say happy birthday, dude, but now you've just annoyed me.
Oh, you know. I like
Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah, well, it's tomorrow, but
I know I'm doing future speak. Just one more time before you're now officially old. Do it again for me, just for me personally. Touch the beer curtain.
Okay. Do you want me to do it, just touch it, or do it sensually?
Sensually, please. Oh. Oh.
Oh, loves my curtain.
Oh my God, he's not stopping.
But Sam, that reminds me of a similar joke.
We don't need to hear it. And I know a similar joke too, and it's also about monks. Whenever monks
it's not about
be
monks.
skeptical.
It's not about monks.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had this really terrible day, right? And get up, go to take a shower. There's massive line for the shower, big family. And then I go to the bank and there's massive line at the bank. It takes forever. Go to the gas station, massive line to, pay for my gas and the snacks I got. Get to a party, there's massive line to go in. But I get to the punch table and there's no punch line.
Oh dear.
I do that one.
This
That
is the person I'm married.
I love that.
I preferred Sam's joke.
Do you hear the joke about the Tibetan monk who saw the face of Jesus in a tub of margarine?
Sorry, what?
Did you hear the joke about a Tibetan monk who saw the face of Jesus in a tub of margarine?
No.
He raised his eyes to the heavens and said, "I can't believe it's not Buddha."
Oh no! Oh
Beautiful.
No!
I actually work occasionally at a margarine factory, so that's that. There's no joke hidden there. It's just a random factoid. Anyway, how's this for a joke? So Albert Einstein, and Newton and Pascal. Pascal, not the one with the wager, the other one, the scientist. They play hide and seek, and it's Einstein's turn to find the others. So Pascal runs off and hides somewhere. Newton, however, is being clever. So he draws a 1 meter by 1 meter square on the floor and stands in it, in the middle of it. So Einstein finishes counting, and this happens right next to Einstein. So Einstein takes the hands off his eyes and immediately sees Newton and says, "Come on, Newton, you're supposed to hide. What are you doing? I found you." And then Newton says, No, you haven't, because you've found 1 Newton in a 1 by 1 square, which means you found Pascal.
I love it.
One of my favorite little ones is the two rules of philosophy. 1, for every philosopher there is an equal and opposite philosopher. 2, they're both wrong.
Yeah.
So there was this one of my mates, Dave, was down at the pub and he was having a drink and he was in the corner and a guy came in, put a large kind of long brown package on the desk, not on the desk, on the bar, and the barman handed him a tenner and a drink, and he went off into the corner and didn't think too much of it. And then later, a second guy did, and he came in and brought this parcel, put it on, and then handed him a drink and a tenner. And so Dave goes up to him and tries to start chatting to him, and he's like, "And what was that parcel?" And he's like, "I can't tell you, trade secret." And it was like, "No, come on, I'll give you a drink." And he was like, "Nah." And then he's just like, "I'll buy you a drink and give you a $5." And he was like, "Right, fine." So he says, "I'm a poacher. I poach trout. And what I do is I pay a mate a $5 to dangle me over a bridge, and I stick my hand down, and when a trout comes along, I tickle its belly, and it freezes up. Then I yell, 'Pull me up,' and my mate pulls me up, and then I bring it to the bartender, Chris, and he gives me a drink and a tenner. So I get a $5, and my mate gets a $5, and I get a drink. Perfectly fine by me. And so he goes, "You know what? Fine, I'll do that." And so Dave gets a mate, pays him a $5, and they dangle over a bridge. And after a while, Dave's mate, Steve, he's just like, "Can I pull you up yet?" And he's just like, "Not yet." And
why Steve the Yorkshireman?
Well, I live on the border of Yorkshire. And then then Dave yells, pull me up. And when Steve is like, "Why have you got something?" Dave's just like, "No, there's a train coming."
You know, at one point there, even StreamYards got bored.
That's kind of the point of that joke, that it's awful.
What I find helps, Noodle, because obviously we're fellow, let's say, Lancashire people, or Greater Manchester, if you like. Oops, sorry.
No, so we're not. I'm Yorkshire.
No.
Oh, no. Well, I'm not going to say it then. Oh, dear. That would have been bad.
Don't worry. You know, the old yeah.
You're all bloody Northerners.
I find it helps if you switch subtitles on when Sam's speaking.
Oh.
Do you find me difficult to follow still?
February, but I was drunk.
Oh, subtitles in northern accents. I should write a book.
No, I'm taking the piddle, obviously, because I've said this before, and I've only spoken to Noodles once before, but it is really refreshing to hear people with a proper accent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. None of that weird thing that Jeff does. I mean,
Are we all just going to pick on Jeff now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stick on Jeff.
Yeah, it's just
Pick on
yeah,
Jeff.
but the northern monkeys are ganging up on me now.
Oh,
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, words straight from the land of Tories.
Donna says it. Donna is right. Southerners are sexy.
I'm going to add that to my Twitter bio. Hashtag Northern Monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm posh compared to Noodle and Sam.
Where are you from, Stu?
Oh, we've done this before. You won't remember. I think you were drunk, but
When
not
am
too
I
far.
not? I'm from Bradford.
Exactly, I know.
Speaking of, back in a sec.
I'm not too far away from you. Begins with the same first letter, but it's on the correct side of the Pennines.
Well, you know what they say about Lancashire, don't they? On the 8th day, God made Lancashire, and then he decided he could do better and made Yorkshire.
Can somebody interpret that for me? What did she say?
See, this is where I get to
Basically,
laugh.
okay, it says lankers or wankers, basically.
Jeff,
She said the only proper way to make tea is to put it in 39-degree Fahrenheit salt water.
Excuse me?
That's very cold.
See, I thought you were going to say in a microwave then. I thought you were going to say the only proper way to make tea is in a microwave.
I'll just point out one quick thing. When I next ask for an interpreter, Jeff, please don't volunteer because this does not help me. Seriously, people still have that accent in the 21st century. Oh,
Yeah, but there's two different kinds of people. Perfect people from Yorkshire and everyone else.
See, and then there's me who is actually on the border of 3 counties.
this is true. I know where that weirdo lives, and I'm going to stalk.
Well,
Because
good luck to
Sorry,
you.
bear's outside the window. I gotta go kill it.
Okay.
By the way,
you-
Sam, what are you having?
It is a Brothers cider. I've run out of other cider, so now I want strawberry and cream.
Ooh.
What flavour Lucas are you on today still?
Well, that would be giving the game away, would it not? So let's just say it's a very soft drink and there's absolutely no alcohol in it whatsoever.
Oh, I also happen to have this.
Thoughts and prayers.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, Sam, I got this on standby. A bit of single malt there.
Ooh, nice. I've
Ooh.
got a single malt, but I
Lovely.
tend to save it for special occasions.
What?
Yeah.
Jeff, you're getting too quick with the old beer curtain there, my friend. I didn't see the label.
It was Old Pulteney.
Oh,
Nice. I think I've got some Oban somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
there's-
quite Oban's quite nice.
Speaking of Yorkshire v Lancashire, anyways, a couple of old jokes that always sound best in a northern accent. A Yorkshireman took his cat to the vet, and the vet said, "Hey up, lad, I need to talk to thee about my cat." The vet said, "Is it a Tom?" The Yorkshireman said, "Nah, I've brought it with us."
You I mean, have you heard about this?
Yes.
Do you know about that fellow whose dog died? Went to Monument Place and asked him. He said, "I want a statue of my dog. My dog's dead." They said, "Do you want it? How do you want it?" He said, "I want it in gold." He said, 18 carat. He said, "Nah, chewing a bone, you'd have to get."
Have you heard? I mean, I don't like to disparage on Yorkshire, but have you heard the recent drug epidemic that's been going on in Yorkshire?
Oh,
Yeah, it's quite serious. There's junkies that have been injecting ecstasy into their mouths. It's been this quite dangerous practice. It's called e-buy gum.
oh my gosh, that's actually, I like that. I like that. I feel sorry now for Ring because he's no idea.
To be honest, this is it. Anyone outside of the UK is not going to get that fucking joke at all.
great
No.
joke. Yeah.
No, I mean they're probably about as close like, the reaction though to that is probably a similar reaction I get when I forget and just start using Cockney rhyming slang when I'm talking to some American friends, and I forget that.
I'll give for all the Americans and non-Brits in the discussion. Let's have a nice history lesson. So during the War of the Roses, the Lancastrian army had 1,000 men, and they were marching across Saddleworth Moor. They heard a shout from the other side of the hill, and the shout was, "One Yorkshireman can take on 1,000 Lancs." And with that, the general summoned his men to take on the Yorkshiremen, and off they charged. After an almighty rumpus, one of the Lancastrian soldiers, bloody and battered, came limping back to where the general was. And the general said, "Are you the only survivor?" The soldier replied, "Yes, sir, but it were an ambush. There were 2 of them." Also, listening, these jokes are all really old.
You know what? Yeah. They're old, but they're pretty damn good.
I think the best bit for me is that I've got family members on both sides of the border, and it amuses me greatly, therefore, to just sit back and watch, especially since I technically don't live in either. So
it's interesting to kind of watch this from above, or rather a bit from the east. It sounds as if people from Lancashire and Yorkshire feel kind of a greater animosity towards each other than even Scots and Englishmen.
Hang on a minute.
It's all in good fun now.
It is.
No.
They had some very serious beef around 1450-ish. 1455, the war started.
Yeah, but it's all in good fun now.
Oh, now it's all in good fun.
1450, just before tea time.
Right.
Did I mishear something then? Did the Ginger Viking just say he was above us?
Yeah. No, more like to the east, and I'm not above anyone. I'm in fucking Denmark, so I mean, we are the bland Netherlands, you know. I mean,
I'll tell you what,
just as flat and weed is banned.
I'll make a truce with Noodle because you know what? He's a ginger.
I have no soul.
And he's exactly, and he's trying to mock us for awesome accents.
No, I would never mock you for your accents. Your accents are absolutely scrumptious. I absolutely love them. It's cream from my ears.
You have to understand that prejudice against gingers is like the only socially acceptable form of prejudice we've got left. So
I'm not actually a ginger, so I tend to join in because why not?
Yeah. Well,
I've had this bizarre phenomenon where, like, when I was dating an American at one point, they were having an argument about who had the better partner, and literally the winning argument was, "Yeah, well, mine's British."
Yeah. I do have to say though, not just gingers, Londoners.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Londoners are also acceptable.
Yeah.
They're charity cases. Let's be honest. They're
charity cases.
The one phrase that can unite pretty much everyone in the UK: "Screw London."
Yes. Even Londoners will agree with us on that sentiment.
Well, it's
Londoners.
Group hug. We're all in this together.
I always quote the comedian Rob Newman. He was on about, and he was talking about something historical, the London Corresponding Society, which was the first sort of working class political organisation in the world. And it's just a bit weird because the working class itself was only being invented at that time. And so he said, I wonder if they were working on a prototype of the Cockney Wankers Walk.
Newman was really funny. Is he still around?
Yeah, Rob Newman's still going, yeah.
He was very funny.
I've got
I've got an autographed copy of one of his books here somewhere. Rob Newman's Theory of Evolution, which is quite funny book.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I must look into it. That sounds good.
Yeah, well, he he obviously after he was sort of mainstream when he was doing his thing with David Baddiel or whatever, but he just sort of walked away. Then he came back doing totally different comedy altogether, and he's like he's almost like an anarchist version of Stephen Fry, pretty much.
I like that description.
Yeah,
I can't remember the guy's name. Damn, it's totally escaped me. But the guy who does that really funny thing, he's super famous comedian who does the thing about, oh, you get arrested for saying that these days. Does that ring a bell, Jeff, or not?
Stuart Lee?
That's the one, yeah, Stuart Lee.
Yeah, I know Noodle, he's not a big fan of Stuart. I love Stuart Lee. I've met him actually a couple of times. He's brilliant.
I think he's very hilarious.
Yeah, he's really cool though about meeting fans after shows. He's really cool about that because the sort of persona he puts on stage is like totally different. He's a really humble, nice guy if you get to actually speak to him. But his on-stage persona is a bit of an arsehole. Even he'll say that. But
anyway, did you know Edam cheese was invented in Yorkshire?
Here we go.
I see Hunter's face deliberately. Do you know Edam cheese was invented in Yorkshire? So back in must have been.
I know where this is going.
Candle maker in Yorkshire liked to make his red candles, and he'd been at work. He'd been going for so long. Wife brought him a plate of cheese for something to eat, but he was keen to finish, so he ignored the food, carried on going. When all of a sudden he let out a mighty sneeze and said the red hot wax flying. Opened his eyes and saw it had completely covered his cheese supper and cried out in anguish, "Damn."
And you say my sense of humor is punishing.
Okay. Okay. I'll tell you a little Rob Newman one that he used to do on stage, and he would come out, and this would be his first thing. He said that he's working on this book about kidnap and hostage if you're in hostage survival situations. He says, if you happen to be in Russia and you get kidnapped by the Chechen militia, here's what to say. And then he would read out this long sentence in Russian. And then he would say, I'll translate. He says, do you remember Sergei Kamal Kabaryovsky, the double agent who infiltrated your ranks, sold you all out, but you never caught him because he was given asylum in the West and a new identity. I'm here to tell you, I've tracked him down and I've found out who he is. And then he goes on to the next sentence. It's me, Telep Ben Elton.
Ben Elton, yeah, okay. To most people, even to some of the youngsters in this panel, Ben Elton would just whoosh, they've no idea.
Yeah, I know about Ben Elton.
I'm not really angry at Ben Elton for selling out because I thought he was a wanker to begin with, but
he wrote The Young Ones.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take away. He did write some great comedy in his day.
What? I'm literally agreeing with Jeff. I don't believe this is happening, but I always knew.
But
I always knew that Elton.
We lost Ring.
He'll be back.
I will say though, I don't know much else about Ben Elton, but you could tell me now. What did he do?
He just went.
You must hate him.
Oh, he just went like totally bloody new. Like, I mean, this is the guy who was like pitching himself as the real radical left wing comic and whatever. He just went totally bloody Blairite in the I believe Ring is back. Let me just try and bring him back in.
Yeah, that's bad.
Hold on. No, I can't bring him back in. It's just device is not connected.
It is. I find
Ring,
it a
try
shame.
again.
I find it a shame when, these people who you think are really whatever awesome or good singers or whatever their talent is, and then you realise they're a dick. They're not a nice person.
There was one, and I can't believe I'm saying this, But of all the people to turn out to be a world-class prick, John Cleese. I mean, he always
All
kind
right.
of was. Not,
Oh,
not
he's not.
not like he's turned out in the last couple of weeks.
No,
Um,
he's still stuck in a past world.
Yeah.
He is very much, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ring, I just had to kind of kick you from the studio. Try again, because you for some reason I couldn't bring him in. Like it appeared on the screen, but it wouldn't let me bring him in. So try again, Ring.
Do you know what sounds though like a Yorkshire joke, but actually isn't? When they held the Tour de Yorkshire, they actually had to tell the volunteers for the Tour de Yorkshire not to call people love.
For the what? Yorkshire?
Not to call people love, the Tour de
No.
Yorkshire.
The Tour de Yorkshire.
Yeah, the Tour de Yorkshire. The
Oh, Tory.
the-
Tory. Oh, it's your accent. I thought you said toady, as in frog. I thought, what the hell is that?
No, the
Hold
Tour
on,
de Yorkshire.
hold
The
on.
cycling thing like the Tour de France.
We got you back this time, Ring.
Hey.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I had
don't
to-
know what happened last time. I couldn't bring you in. I was just
Yeah,
And-
I stopped my camera because I had to use the restroom.
Fair. The thing is, as well, though, I'm sure Stoll can tell you, and Sam can probably attest to this as well. The accent I'm speaking in now is toned down
Oh yeah, so is mine. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
because otherwise they wouldn't understand a word I was saying.
I get where you're coming from because, weirdly, we now gently taking the piss out of each other, and it's not really.
Why is
we're just
why
gonna
is
laugh.
this man being brought up in Ox? Why is this man being brought up in my live chat? Sorry.
But just as an aside, an interesting little tidbit, if you like. I said tit, sorry, Jeff. But I've lived in Lancashire, and I am doing now. I've lived in Yorkshire, did for a long time. I also lived in Oban. So, you know, my accent, I have to amend it depending on who I'm talking to.
You lived in Melbourne.
Otherwise, I'd have to put subtitles on for Ring. He just would not understand a word I'm saying.
Ring married me, and he still needs subtitles sometimes.
You live. Sorry, Stool. Did you live in
Okay.
in Scotland?
Ox is trying to start something here.
They've got wonderful whiskey.
Oh yeah, I did live there, and there's also other wonderful things about that place.
Sorry.
Of course,
by the way,
there
Ox.
is. It's Scotland.
There's your historical fact there for you.
Most wonderful place in the world.
Well, I
Well,
was
the
born
fun
in
fact
Scotland,
is-
so
The really fun fact that most people are not aware of is that I actually lived this far away from the first ever transatlantic cable that went from the UK over to America land, which was laid in, I think, the 50s, I think, I forget. And so there's some really funky and sexy historical facts about that town of Oban. Amazingly secret stuff that most people are not aware of. For example, you'll think this is completely made up, but on the, let's just say on the property on which I lived, there was a, what they called it a submarine tower. So the army, World War II, and into the Cold War, stone building, slots, guns, looking out for Russian submarines, and they'd laid mines because that was the easiest and quickest access point for Nazi submarines to enter the UK.
I mean, I know that in Oban there definitely were minefield control towers, so I would believe that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's not up for debate. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a genuine real thing. And
Why would we believe that?
well, Sam's a bit on the young side, so he might not understand that this is a real thing that actually happened. And during the Cold War, again, sorry, young people, but you know that I mentioned the transatlantic cable, and before we had satellites, etc., that was a really important piece of kit because that's how our Prime Minister would speak to the President of the USA.
Ah,
So it
right.
was really, really important, which means that also kind of next door to where I used to live was a secret place built into a mountain, which is still there. You can go and look at it if you sneak in, that looks after all the communications.
Cool.
Which meant that I'm determined to bore the pants off all of you, that when broadband was first introduced, and the speeds were never good, were they? They were really bad.
Dial up.
But no, broadband, proper broadband.
Okay.
But because of the distance between where I lived to the exchange, as the crow flies, it's a very short distance, but it had to go around a very big mountain, so the speed would drop. However, the cables from that exchange to the house were the original cables from the Cold War era. They were underground, armored cased, so that the Russians couldn't destroy that method of communication. So I had really good broadband.
See, you can't bore me with things like that. I'm a historian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a bit of a history nerd. That's not going to bore me.
Yeah.
Also, you've got an absolutely awesome storytelling voice.
Speaking of copper wire,
Oh, stop it.
you might have had copper wire during the Cold War, right? And, you know, and speaking of being a historian, did you hear about the archaeologists? What happened with the archaeologists and the copper wire?
Is this going to be another one of your really crap Yorkshire jokes?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You might have had copper wire, but we had wireless. See, about 10 years back, the French dug down and found copper wire, and they reckoned on that must mean that about 200 years ago, 200 years before anything else, they had telephone exchanges. So the Americans went off and dug down deeper and found copper wire. So they said, well, we must have had them before the French. And then a northern bloke dug down just outside of Bradford, found nothing, and decided that meant that we must have had wireless.
So,
do you notice how many? Sorry. Do you notice how many times then Noodle mentioned the word French?
Ooh.
Because we've still got this thing, haven't we? And in recent happenings, what's happening with the old E-word Brexit thing?
Yeah.
That old forever thing is resurfacing.
Yeah, but I've always been friendly with it. It's not.
It's us versus the French. Seriously, get over this, UK, you dicks.
I'm not. I like the French. The French are alright. They make good wine.
Yeah. The French are fine. I will occasionally poke fun. But
Some of
that
my
tends
best
to
friends
be-
are French.
Yeah. Some of my best friends are from Lancashire. What can I do?
but about copper wire. Fun fact: if it weren't for copper, the state capital of Montana would be in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the town I live in would have been the state capital if it weren't for copper. Because in Montana, you know, as it was being ratified into being a state, there were two big industries. There were the copper industry and the timber industry. And the area around Helena was the big copper area, and where I'm, you know, the area around in western Montana, you know, was more timber and logging. So Helena actually won out, you know, for state capital over Missoula.
History is fun.
Yeah,
history is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
See, the other thing copper did was arrest people.
Oh, that was bad. Can we kick him out, please?
Yeah, that was punishing. That was terrible.
Well, I hear there's not a lot of resistance with copper.
You two, out.
Now that was good. That was a proper joke. None of this sitting here for 5 minutes going. Just get to the point.
Well, see, with archery, the point gets to you.
That was not good.
True, although
I get slightly annoyed when you hear people say history is not important, it's boring. I don't get why anybody could ever say that, because it's one of the most fascinating things and important things that we have.
The only people who say that are people who don't know history.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't want to know history because it's too boring.
History is far wider than anything people could create.
Yeah.
It's just such an important thing, and it's a cliche statement, but we learn from it. Well, we should learn from it. We're not doing very well at the moment, but
So I've got 2 degrees in history and classics. I'm totally with you there.
yay!
Yeah, I'm an undergrad degree in modern history and American studies, and PG postgraduate certificate in classics humanities.
Oh, so you said American studies, so help me out with this one. Does that mean you really help me out with this one? Does that mean that you studied American history between a certain or during a certain period of American history?
It was largely American. It's history of the United States
Itself, yeah, okay.
itself. There were optional modules on South Americas and sort of the North American continent, but they were massively oversubscribed and I didn't get to take them.
And of course,
I'll leave you guys alone for 5 minutes on my channel and you're telling such shit jokes.
well, and of course, I helped with the studying. I'll let the chat decide how.
Oh, anthropology's a thing, I guess.
Well, American studies was I focused largely on American diplomatic history and international relations. My undergraduate dissertation was on media representations of the Vietnam War, but not
Oh my gosh.
in film, cinema, and TV.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, insert international relations joke here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something specific.
The special
That is so awesome.
isn't.
I'm totally impressed. Well done, you.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Let's be honest, it was just a good excuse to watch Good Morning Vietnam on repeat.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Oh wait! I know an international relations joke. So a German, an Irishman, and an Englishman walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Is this some kind of joke?"
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Irishman ducked.
The Irishman what?
The Irishman ducked.
I get it. Okay. You've got to have a certain level of appreciation for a certain kind of humor to get Noodles jokes. I get it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
So a dwarf, an elf, and a human walk into a bar. The DM said, "Take 2d6 bludgeoning damage."
Oh dear.
I like that.
How about this one? A Nazi, a homophobe, and a hypocrite walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "What would it be, Mr. Joseph Scheer?" That was the name of the Hungarian politician who was caught in a party.
Yeah, I thought.
I think the Americans borrowed that joke, and it's "What would it be, Mr. Trump?"
I was going to go there. Yeah,
that would work as well. That would work as well. Yeah.
We don't tend to do those kinds of I'm going to call these 1970s jokes because we don't tend to do those Englishman, Irishman, bloody blah things anymore, do we?
No,
And
they've got a bit
correct me if
passive.
I'm wrong, but I think that's a good thing that we don't do them.
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
grew up hearing a lot of them, but it's probably good that they're done significantly less now.
right. A businessman and a legal immigrant and a Daily Mail reader walk into a doctor's surgery. They're waiting there in the waiting room, and they put out a tray of biscuits for the customers. The businessman, there's 8 biscuits. The businessman takes 7 of them, turns around to the Daily Mail reader and says, "Watch that fucking illegal immigrant. He's after your biscuit."
Yeah, that's a classic as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to assume that that Jeff's American guest Ring, I can't say that word without wanting to chortle, but Ring, you are familiar with how utterly vile and horrendous the Daily Mail is.
Yes, he is. He's married to me.
You mean the Daily Fail?
Yeah, I've just got to check up because your accent throws me.
Ring has been well versed in the vices and horror that is the scum and the fail, because I will not have them in my home.
Yeah.
The scum and the fail. Love it.
We were asked to collect the fail for writing for a bit of newspaper writing, and I was just like, why can we not just pick up the Metro? It's the same quality.
That horrendous publication, let's call it, for the lack of a better word, has caused so much damage to this country. It's just vile.
I knew you were gonna, who reads the papers?
No. This is a song, right? I'm gonna put this full screen. This is about. I shouldn't get. I hope I won't get copyright struck for this.
Yeah,
but,
be careful, Jeff. Really.
Yeah, but I don't think this YouTube has been active for a long time. Dan and Dan, the Daily Mail song.
Go on. Will this make me laugh?
Royals on the first page, swine flu and road rage. Find Maddie, foreign baddie, put him in a big cage.
Oh yeah.
Facebook gang rape, Gordon and Dave in before the country caves in. He and us gets his own jacuzzi and a gym in jail. Absolutely true because I read it in the Daily Mail. Capital punishment for paedophiles, photo feature on schoolgirl skirt styles, binge Britain, single mums, pensioners, hoodie scum, oversexed and underage, foreign stories half a page, criminal demonstrators released on bail. It's absolutely true because I read it in the Daily Mail.
I like this.
Ban this gay smut, I'm not racist, but cars crime, eating lifetime, pop stars take drugs, teen boys wear hoods, sports stars have sex, bear shit in woods, Brussels politicians want to stop us drinking English ale.
This is funny, I'm laughing.
Absolutely true because I read it in the Daily Mail.
This is an old video.
I've never seen it.
Climate gate, petrol prices, potholes, credit crisis, gypsies, Russell Brand, time we all took a stand, modern art, where to start, trashed a lot of it, apart from statuette, a puppy, 50 quid plus P&P, Muslim women hiding stolen goods behind their veils. It's absolutely true because I read it in the Daily Mail. Poles paid to give blood, immigration like a flood, soft touch, British Isles, cancer from your mobiles, cancer from your laptop, cancer from your rooftop, cancer from the shoes, from your dog, from your pen top, immigrants arriving on an unprecedented scale. It's got to be the case if it's written in the Daily Mail.
That is so beautiful.
Never mince the words in the good old Daily Mail. It's absolutely true because I gather all my views from the Daily Mail.
That's beautiful.
That's
really fantastic.
It's an old video, but it checks out.
Yeah.
I would have followed you.
Never
I don't
seen
know
that before.
why. I'm reminded of
I
amateur
should be
transplants
okay
watching
because that YouTuber has not been active. That YouTuber, I don't think he's been active in years, so hopefully we should be okay.
You'll be fine for that. Trust me.
Yeah.
And talking about the Daily Mail, or as we sometimes call it, the Daily Hail, I've got to be really careful what I do with my left arm.
Yeah. I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm not.
Well, I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah,
how
I
old's
love
that?
that. It's about 10 years old, that video, but
I've never seen it. My
That-
gosh, that is
oh.
brilliant.
I don't know why that reminds me of amateur transplants, but it does.
But
That is up there
fun
with
fact: when I
Will
was over in the UK, a lot of people kept mistaking me for Canadian.
It was better at least because the
Yeah.
love-hate relationship with the Yanks over here. So
Yeah.
we're just too polite and too skinny to be American. Look at you. Clearly not. Need to get you home so I can feed you. Look at you.
I've literally, I'm being serious now. I've got, when your eyes leak, that made me chortle. That was good.
Yeah.
That I like that, and I like the Yes Minister who reads the papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I would play that on screen, but you got copyright hit for that.
Yeah, I got
playing that
copyright hit for
thing.
Yes Minister.
I actually got a copyright. I didn't get an actual strike, but I couldn't put up my birthday stream before I removed the section where I had shown some things from Twitter.
YouTube needs to. I'm not going to swear on Jeff's beer
Twitter is
curtain
public.
stream,
Well,
but
Twitter is public.
I think you can.
Yeah. Don't fucking swear, still, for fuck's sake.
I never would. I'm a good boy. But
yeah,
seriously, YouTube keep amending my bloody descriptions.
This is the ultimate irony. You hosted a stream that was named after me. Unfortunately, it was like really late at night for me, and I couldn't actually join. Well, it wasn't named after me. It's just more after my luxurious curtains that you seem to be so enamored with still.
I mean, they really tie the room together.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do. I love it when Jeff touches his beer curtains. It just makes my day. What I used to like in the old days, when you were on Dave's silly game show thing, during the day when it's light outside and you've still got your beer curtains closed, and you would cunningly reach behind the beer curtain, take a beer out, and then put it back. I mean, that is so awesome. Who does that?
What, like this kind of thing? Sort of thing,
yeah. You're like the Paul Daniels of YouTube.
Yeah. I just don't have a Debbie McGee, though, unfortunately, but...
The lovely Debbie McGee.
Yeah.
We're boring.
Well, I'm probably going to start bringing this thing to an end. We've been on about coming up for 3.5 hours.
Wow.
So I'm guessing it's probably time to start winding up. So I want to thank obviously everyone who's been in here today. To Hops, Noodle, Ring, Stool, Sam, Jenny Morgan, Manda, Slim. Someone else has been in here. Who am I missing? I'm forgetting someone. I don't know who it is, but Julie, of course, Julie the voice. Yeah, thanks to everyone who's popped into my stream and helped me celebrate this socially distanced birthday piss up, I suppose. Guys, I'll just go quickly go around the room. I'll start with Sam. Got anything you'd like to plug?
In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be coming out with a video about like minority identities, tokenization, and how it's generally not quirky. It's fucking exhausting.
Cool. Okay. Stu, got anything you'd like to plug, my fan?
Of course not, no, because I'm an idiot. But I'm just going to put this out there. Hashtag Team Stool. Hashtag Ding Dong. Okay, this is going to be the biggest thing ever.
Ding Dong the Witch is dead.
I'm not going to sing it.
That's just been
know
a while.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I know, but it's always worth celebrating that.
True.
Okay.
The only thing I want to plug is Jeff Spear curtains, because here's the thing. I think I may have misheard. Oh, God, he does this to me. Oh.
Would you two like some privacy?
The important thing is that we just be happy for Jeff, because he's reached a big number.
Stu, I might set an OnlyFans thing up just for you.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
I like it how you do the actions when you stroke them.
Yeah.
You're like one of those game show hostesses from the 70s.
Yeah.
Behind this curtain.
More beer.
And Bully special prize.
It's not a speedboat, is it, Jeff? Please don't tell me it's a
You
speedboat.
could win a caravan.
Ooh.
Let's look at what you could have won. Sorry, Ring.
Again,
Above your head.
again, very, very British reference there. I'm sorry, Ring and Hops.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That's okay. We get used to it.
I wonder if I could use.
I do know. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this, because I do, as a YouTuber I do know who's like really big into darts or whatever, but she's American. I'm gonna have to ask her if she's ever heard of Bullseye. At some point, I am gonna have to ask her that question.
Just be careful how you frame it, please.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's phrasing.
You get nothing in this game for two in the bed. This is meant. I wasn't planning on doing this, but this is now my new thing. I'm going to spend the next 2 hours doing impressions of Jim Bowen.
Hey,
You can do that. You can do that, but we're wrapping up in like the next couple of minutes. So
No, I'm going to do it to myself. I
Fair
don't
enough.
want viewers.
And where are we round? And in 3, Ring. Do you want to love?
Well, as always, Saturday, secular D&D, Sunday, media musings. This next week, we're probably talking about Christmas Story and U.S. gun culture.
Ooh.
Hissy has some things to say, or Noodle has some things to say.
Shots will be fired.
Eyes will be shot out.
Always talk about shooting people in the face on the birthday of the little baby Jesus.
Okay. And in 4, Hopswatch. Got anything you'd like to plug?
Not much, really. I hope I'll get the motivation back at some time to do some more beer reviews and satire politics stuff, which I do in my channel, and secular activism. But we'll see when I get to it. Probably need a job before, so yeah. But I'll be hanging out on the occasional stream every now and then, and have some fun with you guys hanging out. Always remember to drink responsibly.
And finally, for Bully's special prize, Noodle.
Not much on YouTube. I have Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Follow me there. And I think Jeff and I are going to be picking up, if not next week, the week after, for season 2.
I think it's supposed to be next week. Now, I believe it is your turn to host.
Yeah, so next week it is then. If you're up for it, so am I.
And that will be Asterix and the Great Divide. We're starting up season 2 of our Asterix the Gaul reviews.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Tune in for that. Other than that, not much going on YouTube, but follow me on Twitter at Danger Hissy. My fandom account is Discourse Noodle. Not safe for work, yada yada. Dead Dove Do Not Eat, all the rest of it. Yeah, at the minute, that's what I've got going on. I may in future start doing a bit more once I have a system that can actually, not die. If I try and do anything more than what it's doing now, which is running StreamYards. And we will see.
Okay. Cool. Well, obviously, I've already hit with Hissy's last plug. That's what I've got coming up in the future. Is the Asterix. As people know, I had Slim in here earlier. I am wanting to bring Slim on for a one-on-one, more in-depth
I
chat.
enjoyed that. That was really interesting.
Slim is awesome. Slim is awesome. And as I said earlier, the only reason we met is we accidentally got double booked on the iNetwork, so he just brought us both in, and just started listening to Slim, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I've got to have you on my channel," We'll look out for that in the pipeline. I'll try and get arranged that either sometime towards the end of or early in the new year. I'm going to try and get Slim on the channel for a proper chat. Otherwise, just starting up the Asterix season 2 with Noodle next week. And
if I actually receive notifications, which I don't because YouTube is a pile of pants, I would watch your silly Asterix thing, but I never get told about it. So I would watch it. I really would.
Well, if you watched it, you wouldn't think it was silly.
Oh.
Are you following on Twitter?
We do high art. Hissy and I do high art.
Did you see how he said that to me then? Did you see the look in his eyes of hatred?
Well, you did call us silly.
Yes.
Yeah, and you frozen right on cue, which is just fantastic.
And with that note, whilst Stool is frozen,
I'm not frozen. It's not me. It's you. I'm fine.
No, it was you.
We will say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hello.
And
Happy
before we
birthday.
go, listen, happy birthday, my friend. You're awesome. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
And so what we really need you to do right now before you sign off for the evening and think about your impending death, sign out by singing the theme tune to Bullseye. It's all yours.
There is
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go. And Bully's special prize. Tune in next time. Tune in to next time to find out. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers, Jay.